Welcome back to the RIyadh Masters, and here we are, closing out the play-in stage with some play-offs. Getting through things here, as we've already got our guaranteed teams going through to the main group stage, and Wago, now it's elimination time.
Yeah, it is, and we have two teams here that are fighting. We've been watching as well. We've got beastcoast and TSM here right now. We saw Jim Park and what he did yesterday. Some absolutely insane stuff. We had some really crazy Divine Rapier stuff going on. Aeon Disc on Carry Gyro with Rapier. You can't really ask for more exciting Dota than that. It was a lot of fun. And seeing beastcoast here go up against TSM. Do you have a favorite here that you think like they're going to take it easily, or do you think it's going to be a bloody battle?
I think it's going to be a bloody battle. I really do. I mean, I do have some bias. You know, I'm going to come out and say it. I covered South American Dota for a long time, and Beast Coast was absolutely one of my favorites for quite some time. But, you know, looking over the match history, they've played against each other 3 times, always in a best of 2, and TSM have taken 2 of those best of 2s 2-0. So TSM historically have the upper hand over Beast Coast. But when it comes to big lands, I feel like Beast Coast are just better at taking these big victories, which matter a lot more.
Yeah, I think that Beast Coast have one advantage going for them, that they are the type of team that nobody wants to play when everything is on the line, because they are that scary team that they play sort of without fear, like we saw with the, they're supposed to lose this game. This is supposed to be over. Buys a Rapier. We're here. This game ain't over. And they're the type of team that can also play very, very aggressively. So that can always be very intimidating, because if you make one little mistake, you can slip up and fall behind. So even though TSM have historically the advantage, I think they have to go in here very well prepared for Beast Coast to be able to upset this as well. I think it should be a really good series.
Yeah, it should be. You kind of walking on eggshells against Beast Coast, very tentative. It's like I think you made the point there. One mistake, one move, one team fight. Beast Coast have been known to be that kind of precision chaos team. They choose their moments very, very wisely. And there's our schedule for the remainder of the day, as we've already rounded out Group A and Group B with those 2 series there, Liquid against Aster and Beast Coast Quest, which I believe didn't matter too much. A bit of dead rubber, just a bit of pride to play for in those 2 previous series. But now we move on into the play-in playoffs, the deciding best of 3s. Don't forget, we move into best of 3s now to figure out who is going to be heading into that main group stage. TSM against Beast Coast, and later on, 9 Pandas against VP.
Oh boy. Yeah, that matchup between 9 Pandas and VP, we're going to have a lot of Eastern European and Russian viewers who's going to be interested in watching that. And everyone, of course, in other scenes as well, because these are, rival teams who are very, very, very potent. And I've cast them in the DPC. It's always exciting. It's always a blast. So seeing them go against each other here, you feel a little bit bad for them that they have to battle each other here, as they're in a very international setting. But at the same time, whoever loses is going to give the power forward basically to the other.
Yeah, especially since 9 Pandas, I kind of want to say they've slipped over the past month or so. They've kind of rose to prowess through seasons 1, 2, and 3, looked very good, but at international events look decent, but recently they've slipped a little bit behind Spirit and Bet Boom, who have picked things up. VP have been that team, though, that's on the cusp. They're on that brink where, one victory against one of these big teams could propel them, towards TI, towards these bigger events and moments, especially with the roster they've got. Should be an exciting one later on down the line. But yeah, right in front of us, we've got 2 teams in the lobby. Beast Coast against TSM, looking like they're ready and raring to get the blinders off, get out of the gates, and start swinging. Because this is real Dota now, right? Best of 3 is how Dota's meant to be played in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it is. I mean, nobody really wants to have a best of 2 where, okay, you lose 2-0, it's whatever. But if it's a 1-1, it always feels like something is missing. You move on and play the next game. Like, no, we could have had those guys, or if you lost one game in the second game, then you're like, well, we want to get the payback here. So for the teams in particular, it doesn't really feel so conclusive when you just play a BO2. BO3, everything is on the line. First game matters a lot to set the pace. You can have, of course, the no-tail mentality as well, as, you always got to win 2 games. So first game doesn't really matter. If you lose the first game, whatever, still got to win 2. But ultimately, Dota is also a lot about getting that right space and be able to flow from the energy that you get from getting good pace, getting some momentum in the first game. So I think we'll see here, both teams not going to hold back anything here as we go into the draft.
Yeah, super curious to see what kind of priority we have in terms of picks, because we've seen a little bit of a shift. Leshrac and Io starting to be picked up by like every team across the board now. Heroes, like Sven are starting to appear for Beast Coast in particular when the carry pool is limited. But is there anything that like stands out for you between these two teams that's going to be super high priority that's maybe a bit weird?
No, I think, Beast Coast have a certain particular style to them. I think maybe you give extra priority, like they did here on TSM, to that Darkseer that they've been playing, and get rid of the ability for them to play around the Darkseer because he worked out really well yesterday. But overall, I think the most important thing is just getting the lanes going in a proper way and set yourself up in a good spot. So we're gonna see a lot of focus on lane bullying heroes here in the first phase picks. That's also the type of heroes we see banned out here. The Broodmother, Timbersaw, Darkseer, all heroes who lane very well against many different things. And, of course, Chen getting removed as well. This is a fantastic Chen and Enchanters patch, so any team capable of playing Chen and Enchanters or happy to do so will definitely bust that out.
Yeah, because TSM, they absolutely love the zoo. And if they get their hands on Chen, they feel pretty happy. I think it's like 50% of their games so far at the RIyadh Masters. They've picked Chen when it was available. Outside of that, Brood, Lycan, grabbing up these annoying heroes like Visage and Enchantress. I do like that ability just to convert, a single kill into towers and that map pressure a little better. Whereas Beast Coast primarily focus on these team fights and pick off into an objective. Clear out a Roshan hero there, but we start off Undying into the Rubik.
Yeah, you think we're going to see any mid-Rubik here? Like Kiyotaka was playing mid-Rubik, Phylactery Dagon today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and oh my god, that game was crazy actually. Ramses was playing Juggernaut, and his Jug, that lifesteal talent is not balanced. How is it not after damage reduction? Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here, viewers. I'm ranting, but yeah, it was to behold.
Just a mini rant.
Yep. I'm done. We can proceed into this game.
I just want to answer. If they still had Chris Luck on Beast Coast, I would say yes, absolutely. He was the kind of guy that would play mid Rubik, mid Snapfire. He was one of those kind of pioneers out there. Yeah,
Chris Luck is an entertaining player to watch for sure.
Dark Margo, a little more limited, I want to say, in terms of signature hero pool. He's very, very good on maybe 3-4 heroes, and outside of that, he looks solid, okay.
That's the type of player that you probably prefer to have, though, in general. Like someone who is an expert at sufficiently many heroes that you can build a lot of strategies around it. You can do a lot of things with it, and he's not going to get target banned everything, rather than just being decent at everything. Obviously, the best idea is just having, TI Yatoro playing everything at top level. That's great. If you can have that, perfect. But you still want to have a specialist more so.
So what's up with this? Drow Ranger first phase. Last pick of the first phase. She's
a good pick against Snapfire and Rubik, I want to say. Snapfire is a hero that struggles a bit against Drow because of the silence being so good. Snap relies very heavily on casting her 4 different abilities. In early game, you want to cast your ulti, just cancel that. You want to jump onto the Drow, you want to stun someone, you can get pushed back to stop it. You can also silence preemptively to stop her from casting it at all, but if she uses it on someone else, you can just push them back and that's not going to hit anymore. So she's good for many different reasons, and both Rubik and Snap are heroes that sit back. What's Drow's weakness? Heroes that go on top of her. So she's already looking pretty solid here by the fact that she has Undying to tank, and you're against a double-ranged setup already.
Is this also kind of a direct response to the Morphling nerfs as well? Because, 2-3 weeks ago, we would see Undying Morphling in that spot, right?
It is definitely. Yeah, when you see Snapfire, that would have been a Morphling pick and just nerf her stats with Aghanim Scepter and Morph. But Morph isn't as good anymore with the idea of countering universal heroes. So I think correctly teams are moving away a bit from that. We are still seeing a lot of success from certain other agi carries, though. Drow, this is only the 5th game, I think, that Drow has picked in RIyadh Masters, so not too many games to go on, but so far, won 3 games, lost 1, so doing decent. And in the previous games that it was played, let's see, it was actually Extreme Gaming playing it in 3 different games, and then Team Liquid ran it once. So first time TSM are pulling it out.
Yeah, was it a combo with some stuff? Because we've seen this Drow Visage quite a lot, and that's why Beast Coast are kind of banning out some of these Zoo heroes. But was it like Drow on her own being picked? Or was there some...
It was Drow Beastmaster in one of the games, and then Drow with ET 2 of the other games. So pairing up a bit minus armor with her strong auto attacks, but not really like full Drow strats the way we have seen.
Yeah, you go back several years, thinking back 4 or 5 years ago. Got all these 5 range lineups with the Drow Ranger.
Yeah.
Don't want to see that again.
As we go through the bans here, going back to exactly what we were discussing, the TSM lineup are, of course, banning out Bloodseeker, Clock, and TA. So Clock, Bloodseeker, TA, all these heroes get pretty close and personal, can be pretty problematic for Drow, and also would not be the easiest heroes for Undying to play into. So they are trying to shield their Drow pick now, since they revealed it early. Meanwhile, Beast Coast, they're banning out bit of Zoo and Push. That's the concern they have against Tombstone plus Drow, because that's already a lot of push. So Lycan or Visage would be absolutely terrifying, but still respecting the Storm here, not wanting to deal with the pickoffs that Storm can provide, even though their heroes are really good against Storm. You have Insta Lift, you have Snap Stun, you have Mars Stun now as well.
I'm trying to figure out where this snap is going, because I'm pretty sure Dark Malgo doesn't play it, and it might just be locked into the off lane. I'm looking back. Yeah, their last 10 games, Dark Malgo has picked it up once or twice. But with this Mars pickup, they are flexible. Like, this is the thing, right? Sacred and Dark Malgo share so many heroes. You don't know where these guys are going. But I'm kind of leaning towards Mars Rubik off lane and Snap Bin, because that just feels more natural.
Mars Rubik is a very classic lane, but somehow I feel like it might be Mars mid and put the Snap Rubik, also completely competent lane. I think I would go with the Mars core here, knowing Beast Coast and how they play. And yeah, I remember casting them a lot as well. Like, I think you and I cast them sometimes as well, where they just became this team that was so annoying to sort of predict, because they would always pick these flex heroes, like
3 offlaners.
Someone will play this, it's gonna be somewhere. Meanwhile, on the side of TSM though, they saw the Mars. They're gonna snag up a Bat Rider here to get some control. They're still only with Lasso as their only disable on TSM, so getting some more stuff to control the Snapfire when she casts the ulti, or just lock down targets in general for Drow is definitely necessary.
Yeah, and I do love Bat with Drow Ranger. Like, maybe not as strong as it used to be with that old kind of Bat Shard build, where you could build into Witchblade and right clicks. But just having more tankiness, like more armor on the Bat, feels really nice when you're getting into the thick of things. Fighting into the Snap and Mars.
It's decent, yeah. They did massively nerf the Drow aura, sadly. It gives so little agi now compared to before. But there we go. We still see aura combination here, the classic Beastmaster Drow. So same as Extreme Gaming ran their game against OG. They win that game. Let me bring that up. Let's see. Oh, they did win that game, so it's over. It was actually 32-6. Jesus.
Oh,
OG.
wow.
Yeah.
I just turned on the heat and brought the tempo. Yeah, I mean, this Beastmaster is so good in so many ways with the Drow and the Bat, right? You've got the aura with the Drow Ranger, good at pushing towers. But having vision from Hawk, it gives you that safety net. Gives you the coverage, knowing that Mars and Snap, they want to be starting these initiations and team fights, from Fog, as a surprise, as a snap action. You've got a Hawk over them. Drow has time to reposition. Undying can drop a Tombstone to save her. Lots of ways to outplay.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And honestly, they're running almost exactly the same strat as Extreme did, because they also ran the Undying, so 3 out of the 4 heroes so far are identical. But it's common. When you have the Tombstone, you want to play around it. This aura strategy facilitates that and allows you to go and push. You now have Roche, easily accessible. You can push towers easily. The only concern for TSM is that their team fights have to be centered around a certain area, and that has to be the Tombstone. You need to fight in that area. If it's a crazy skirmish with people fighting all over the place, Beast Coast have the upper hand right now with the way the draft is going. And they add a Lich, so now have the Arena plus Lich ulti combination as well. Arena plus Snapfire ulti. They have really high damage, so if you do siege up, you get blinked on by Mars, and then the ultis come in, you could just get wiped very fast. You have to be careful here if you're TSM.
Yeah, like if Beast Coast can choose where they're taking these fights, like pick a bit of terrain, a choke point somewhere, that's some nasty, nasty combinations they've got. Throw them into the arena. Last round of bans, Slark out, so giving Bat a bit more coverage. It's going to be Bat mid, right?
Yeah, it should be.
Just like later on down the line, he's still decent with a Dark Pact.
Yeah, I think it has to be because support Batrider, I'm not too big of a fan anymore of it. The support Bat was really nerfed, so you kind of need to go mid here and let the Beastmaster take off, unless for some reason you want to do mid Beastmaster to rush Aghanims faster. But we don't really see teams doing that. It's a little bit too risky and too farm dependent. It's a greedy build, and ultimately you want your mid hero to be the non-stop action hero. Is the way everyone is running pretty much.
Oh, DP. Oh, we were talking about this hero. I mean, I was thinking during Eastern European DPC where the hell she's been. We've seen Team Secret pick her up a couple of times, I think, from the mid lane. Still pretty solid. You know, ulti gives you an identity, gives you a bit of tempo to push objectives. And you were saying, right, TSM want to be picking their spots on the map, kind of playing as 5 around this tombstone at some point when Drow Ranger gets her first item up. DP gives you that driving force, so a pretty sound ban from them.
Yeah, they just want to add something more to really run home those pushes, and they're gonna add a Pango as well, so that would be a more teamfight approach type hero, but would be a great option to ignore Snapfire, ignore Mars, ignore Lich. None of them could really do anything if Pango comes in with the roll already going. At that point, your heroes are too late to react to it. So probably a very good target ban, I would say, by Beast Coast there. TSM now thinking about what they want to add as their final hero. The Lich was a good response, by the way, to the Drow and Beast, because the Frost Shield is incredibly strong here. Will block a lot of the damage output from the Drow.
Well, Ember Spirit, pretty solid pick, but it's the penultimate pick. Now Beast Coast, with the flexibility they've got, do they have an option to pick like a Huskar or a Necro or something?
It's a bit tricky to pick Huskar into both Lasso and Primal Roar with Drow Ranger to burst, so it's a bit risky just due to the kill potential, but they can definitely pick a favorable matchup still. They could go for something that lanes well, or they can just still throw, you know...
Mars mid.
Yeah, I would say Snapfire mid is probably more likely at this point, because Mars mid against Ember... I mean, it's decent, but at some point, the Ember kind of just wins that lane, because you can Sleight of Fist dodge Mars very easily. Even if he could pump fake his spear, it's pretty tough matchup for Mars, especially once the Flame Guard gets going. You know, you just Flame Guard on Ember, and then you kind of have to spear him away, and then you Sleight of Fist dodge the spear. It gets tough.
I just remembered, I think it was Dream League Season 19. It was this situation where Stinger forgot to pick a hero and like accidentally randomed a Necro at the end, but it's a Meepo for Jim Park, the final pick for BC.
Okay, so Meepo is fantastic against Undying in many ways because you can kill a Tombstone super fast, and you have a lot of lockdown now as well from this Meepo, which can be good against Ember. This is exciting, man. I'm hyped for this. This could work out really well, actually. I'm gonna be a believer in the Meepo pick here. The only downside is that Meepo still kind of dies if the Ember decides to actually get cleave and get with it. Like if you go down the route of having Battle Fury, but Meepo does have some counterplay now. The Aghanims exists, the Shard exists. That's two different tools to save Meepo. So I think Meepo, he can get on top of the Drow here. He can kill the Undying and the Tombstone really fast. The best thing they have against Meepo is honestly the Beastmaster with his Aghanim Scepter, and even then, I'm not sure it's gonna be enough here. So yeah, I'm gonna be a Beast Coast believer here for the draft. What about you?
Yeah, I said at the start, right? I'm a biased caster. I'm leaning Beast Coast. I see Meepo, I click like. It feels so good as well having so much overwhelming team fight behind you as a Meepo. And we were talking about how wide the map is, how many more camps there are to farm, and we've seen a lot of these Meepos with this just ability to accelerate farm rate by like 20%, get that Rod of Atos, get Blink, get Aghanim Scepter, jump and kill, and play actively. And if you can do that and play wide map with team fight, it can choke your opponents out really quickly. So I'm curious to see, how TSM kind of maybe mirror this with their mobility, with Ember Spirit, the vision from the Hawk, if they can get some fights going as well. It should be a tasty game for sure.
I think the important thing here is get the Aghanims as soon as possible in Beastmaster. Cut corners if you need to. If the Vanguard is going to slow down the Aghanims even, you can skip the Vanguard. Really identify how you can get the Beastmaster going as hard as possible in this game, because I think he's going to be the key to trying to shut down this Meepo. Aghanim Scepter Beast is very hard for Meepo to deal with due to all the healing he gets from it. But yeah, this should be a very spicy game. And I think the Rod of Atos Meepo against Ember Spirit, against the Batrider, it's going to be fantastic here.
Yeah, having all those roots is super nice. I mean, what's Drow's item build nowadays?
She's going to be Hurricane Piking this game. There's no way that you skip it. She's probably going to go for just a Dragonlance into maybe even Yasha or something there. Try to build towards Hurricane Pike and Manta style. Go, the minor components first and then upgrade both. But yeah, I can just see her going Dragonlance into Yasha, into possibly BKB, Hurricane Pike, Manta style, like that type of stuff. And then she really needs to get damage up after that. First survivability, then DPS.
Yeah, I was just asking because we've seen a lot of these agi carries really prioritize Butterfly quite early on as maybe second or third item, and then Meepo has that cool talent at 15, Earthbind grants True Strike on targets, which I honestly didn't know about until yesterday. I was like, wait, what?
It's a weird one. Yeah, it's because he can't really buy MKB for his clones, so he needs to have some way. Bloodthorn being one way, but yeah, it's honestly an interesting talent. I don't think you can get away with a Butterfly here early for Drow because of all the spell damage that's also there. We talk a lot about Meepo, but there's still that Mars, Snapfire, Lich, and then even a Rubik as well. There's going to be tons of magic damage in this game. She's going to have to go BKB, I think, fairly early. So I think you just go... Yeah, too many darn wizards. That's actually their draft. There is a lot of spell damage.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect time.
Talking about buy a BKB. Good point.
Too many
Grandma.
darn wizards.
Good point, Grandma. No Butterfly.
What's her name again? It's Beatrix, right?
Yeah, Beatrix and Mortimer.
Yeah. Everyone knows Morty.
You know, TA has a voice line that she gets mad at Snapfire. She gets mad at Snapfire because she forces her hand to kill Mortimer, and she doesn't want. Yeah, she didn't want to kill the two of them, but because TA likes Mortimer, she likes pets. She's pet friendly.
Pet friendly. But they're a package deal. They go down with the ship together. Oh, what's that? Oh, there we go. Hello. Oh, look at that. Now, what is that a crocodile, an alligator, or a caiman, or?
I don't know what he is, but he's well fed. Have you seen the belly on that thing? Damn. Like...
Too many cookies, Morty. Yeah. What have you been up to?
Can't have
see,
anymore.
Oh, yep. I can see into his throat. Lovely.
Oh, God.
I like the fact he's actually got a tongue in there. What a beautiful fella.
To see his eyeballs, that's disturbing.
Yeah, he's a chunky boy. Look at him waddling around. Alright, get ourselves underway. Just a reminder, if you're just joining us, this is the play-in, playoffs, deciding matches, best of threes. The winner of this does go through to the main event group stage, and the loser, unfortunately, is evicted from the tournament. Eliminated, that's the word I was looking for, not evicted.
Expelled.
Yes, removed with tremendous force and fury.
Yeah. Loser is exterminated, winner goes on.
Well, TSM, I'm going to grab up a couple of bounty runes. Got 2 for 2. A bit of balance. I'm going to take a look at our lanes here as Whitemon Undying. Going to be paired up with a Tomato Drow. Up against a Rubik Snapfire lane. So it is Secret on the Snap. And we saw Jim Park head into mid on this Meepo. So that they actually put Dark Margo as the carry Mars.
Yeah, that's interesting how they switch things up a bit, but this is just, probably Jim Park saying, okay, give me the lane against Ember. I'm happy with this. I want to play that lane instead of going up against the Batrider plus Beastmaster. And yeah, I think, honestly, that lane is very good for Meepo. It's not that easy for Ember once the Meepo gets level 4, gets that double Meepo, and you just power deny everything. Ember has to be very aggressive with how he plays, kind of push the lane with Flame Guard is probably the easiest way to do it. But even then, lane gets kind of scary with the double Earthbind potential as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of a nice lane to rotate into. Might see some of these supports early days, 4 minutes in, 6 minutes in, come in to help out their mid laners, having these roots through Chains and Earthbind. Could play into that mid lane a bit.
Can also keep trading a lot and bring the Ember low and set something up, and then you just send back the Meepo and stay with the other one. So a lot of nice things you can do with this, but definitely going to be keeping an eye on mid lane as it's pretty competitive so far in the last hits. 4-3 and 4-2.
Yeah, down at bottom, just trading blows. Getting through this regen trade battle, as always, in the side lanes. Try and chip away at this Drow Ranger. Keep away from the Undying as well. Schofield keeping his distance from Sacred, so we don't get those double decays landing.
How many games have we seen Rubik offlane supporting against Undying now? I feel like we cast like 4 games of that already. Yeah. This is very common matchup, but Undying, the only guy who doesn't have any range on this lane, he has to be a little bit sad getting harassed like this.
Up at top, Stinger having a crack at Ahri. Position for Batrider, Flame Break level 1. Getting some hits in on the Lich, but this is just Stinger making sure that Dark Margot has the straight 1v1. Already about a wave ahead of the Beastmaster in last hits and a couple of denies to his name. So Mars having a pretty good time so far.
Yeah, he's starting out very well. Interesting as well, he went for the Magic 1 start, no Quelling Blade build, so he has early Magic Stick charges building up as well, laning against the Beastmaster with the Wild Axis spam. Mid lane, we see them again here, just 11 and 4 and 14 and 4, so still very even, but Meepo is about to hit that crucial level 4. Next creep wave is going to secure it. He's actually going to go for the rune here. A little bit of Earthbind play.
Cheeky fella. And yeah, Meepo doesn't care bottle, just wants to get all the stats up.
Yes. Yeah, he's going to go for early power treads. You could go Wraithbands, but you lose a lot of value for that. So rather you just want the raw stats as early as possible, power treads, and then get some crowns going into that Rod of Atos. Bottom lane, we see a go on Schofield. Might go down. Actually, they committed Tombstone and Blood Grenade, and he's still fine.
And then he lifts White One up to take the Lotus as well.
Very nice. He's going to be happy with that and get himself to safety. And Drow, honestly, not having the easiest time bottom. Only sitting at 8 last hits and 2 denies against the Snapfire, who's dominating in lane quite a bit.
Oh man, this Meepo. You called it. Level 4, really sticking it to Bryle. Gets in quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, and this is where it gets tough, because now Meepo is sitting at 130 last hit damage top lane. Now we see a go on Beastmaster here, or possibly on Mars even, trying to turn it around with that.
Yeah, a bit of back and forth. It can be a bit challenging with a Lich behind. Doesn't have Frost Shield leveled up yet, but he has just cracked 3. Went for that Sinister Gaze to try and trade and annoy Ahri a little bit more earlier on to stop the wave dragging.
Oh, look at this, the water runes. And who's gonna be the hydrated man?
Oh,
Meepo is. Sorry, Ember, your bottle, not gonna do anything right now.
Meepo, part of the Hydro homies. They're sipping it up.
Yeah, gotta stay hydrated.
Does Meepo still have that additional magic reduction?
I forget. He doesn't.
Oh. Kill off Kasane. I mean, Ahri's trying to take down Stinger with a Firefly over the top. Stinger looks like he's going to die, but gets a good amount of damage on the bat before falling. Dark Margot still can't stick around. He's already spent all his 1 charges, so 1 for 1 in the top lane.
Yeah, he's got to stick around for CSing, but he cannot really threaten the Batrider too much here, who gets away pretty healthy there. And yeah, Meepo no longer has the extra magic resistance, but keep in mind the int gives magic resistance, and a lot of the items Meepo buys give a lot of int. So in late game, you end up usually about 50-something% magic resistance, or 55% even, if you buy Eye of Skadi and so on. It's pretty interesting how int has become so useful just kind of quietly, you know?
Yeah. There's a little bit of a flashback to that older patch where Agi used to give move speed.
Oh god, yeah.
The status resistance on strength was pretty wild.
Yeah, those were the days, man. Bottom Schofield.
Zombies. Chasing the Rubik back, and Drow Ranger's going to clean up. And Snapfire. Yeah, a couple of zombies on her as well, but does cookie back to tower. Safety found by Snap, and that's TSM asserting their dominance around this tombstone in that bottom lane, keeping Drow happy.
Yeah, Drow has actually made a nice recovery here. She wasn't farming too much mid lane. Bit of a dive here.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, the roots and ensnares are there, and Jim Park looking for the solo kill. Ahri's rotation is there over the top of one of the Meepos. Oh, Jim Park, pretty speedy. Firefly's not catching up to him. Juking through the trees. Off he goes to poof back into the mid lane. White Mon, Blood Grenade. Jim Park still to the... Oh, the Soul Rip. There we go.
White Mon, right place, right time. He was just camping on that Meepo, knew exactly what was going to happen, and ready to throw a grenade and a Soul Rip with the Observer Ward. That was an important takedown. If he got away with that on Meepo, that would have been terrible.
Yeah, and the knock-on effect, they safeguard that Arcane Rune for Bryle now. So he can start thinking, once he hits level 6, what he's going to be doing with it. Well,
This
that was
is
all
what
happening.
you need. Yeah, you need to help Ember because this lane is not favorable at all. Like right now, Meepo can bully Ember so hard. Nice little one piece found there by Schofield. The bounty gold there.
Tasty bit of money. Trading with Whitemon in that jungle now. Yeah, Kasane was left alone up top. Did get run out a little bit, but he's got his Vanguard up. Kind of difficult to kill this Beastmaster now. And yeah, a lot of focus on this mid lane. Everyone's rotating in. Except for Meepo, who's already there and rotating out. 7 minutes coming up, and he's sending one of his Meepos to maybe think about stealing. There's scans there.
Yeah, he thought about it, he scanned it. He checked that the enemy have stacks though, so he knows about the big camp stack, he knows about the ancient stack, and then he just goes back, plays it kind of safely. Top lane though, not safe enough. Kasane gets caught out.
Yeah, he tanks through a lot of it, but this Frost Blast from Stinger, and now the spear back on Ahri, who trying to get on top of Dark Margot. Getting turned on. Telekinesis back in towards Stinger, but there's no mana left for magic damage. They're relying on right clicks from these two supports, and Stinger's dying. Oh, melted down and thawed by this Firefly of Ahri.
That was a great spear back by Mars as well, trying to set things up. Ooh, almost gets caught by the Observer Ward. He pings the Observer Ward immediately. He's like, that was not clean. There's no way that he spears like that. Indeed, Vision gets removed for the attempted spear kill there.
I knew something was up. Mid lane again, though. Ember Spirit going to get a Sleight of Fist out, and the Safety Remnant off near this 8-minute rune. Let's see if he gets lucky. Yeah, Illusion for Bryle.
Gonna be very happy with that. Meepo already at double crown, by the way, and he has 800 gold, so he needs 1050 gold for the full Atos, and then it gets really annoying to play Ember. You'll have the triple route already, quadruple once the next Meepo comes out as well.
Oh, he is just heckin' annoying, isn't he? Sends a Meepo, nearly found the Ember in the jungle, gets a Courier Snipe, pops back into jungle to farm. Well, looks like Stinger here, under Radiant Vision, trying to chase back Whitemon, who went through the Twin Gate and is aiming for top. It really is a very back and forth game. Like, we're looking at every lane having action, people moving around trying to find this little weakness in the armor of their opponents. Top lane looks like it's the target for TSM here around the Beastmaster to get a bit of a push going.
Oh, Schofield is in trouble. He gets caught by Ember here. There should be no way that he lives, but he jukes to the right direction. Still cooldown on Sleight of Fist.
Yeah, 2 seconds left, and Brawler gives up on it.
He actually missed his Fire Remnant really hard there. He tossed him to the side on Rubik and then juked the other way. Fire Remnant kind of didn't connect clean enough, and with only 2 points Sleight of Fist, he can't get that kill. Not saying the 2 point Sleight of Fist is wrong though. The like I said, against Meepo and Link, you kind of have to skill Flame Guard a lot of points, else you just lose as Ember doesn't do enough damage through all the armor Meepo has.
And you got to have some way of like clearing the wave back against double poof.
True, yeah, definitely. Dark Mago sitting mid, looking for something, but Timado sees him as the Ember Illusion helps scout out there. Not gonna get caught by the Mars ulti.
Yeah, that's just a freebie tower top for Kasane. And Sacred tries to get a bit of a shot going bottom lane. Cookies away from the flame break. Ahri's level 6, but he can't quite get in range for the lasso until he does. There we go. Long range drag back. Tombstone cleared out by the snap, but Bryle and Whitemon make short work of her. Beast Coast, they've rotated down here as well.
If they had Chain Frost, they could go for this. I don't know. They're thinking about it. Maybe they can get Batrider, but I don't think they go on Ember. There's no way. Just gonna farm it.
Dark Market goes up, hits him once.
Yeah, got him. Lich is leeching experience, trying to... he's leeching experience, getting his level 6 here. There we go, sorry.
So he is. No phylactery on this Lich though, hey?
No, sadly not. That's the new stuff though, you know? Phylactery offlane Lich, man, I've been enjoying it lately. It's the teams should definitely do it. Ahri defending here bottom with Bryle. Don't want to give up this tower, but there's a catapult wave.
Yeah, just trying to clear out the normal creeps first. Beast Coast, what are they, 4 heroes strong down here? Yeah, force a reaction. TSM going to realize not a position they want to be in. They are backing up into dire vision though, this ward which we saw a little earlier on. He's going to keep tabs on Bryle and Ahri. If Beast Coast want to fall back and smoke and make a play, they absolutely can.
Yeah, it's a good position to have some deep vision for a gank. They are smoking, but looks more like they want to find Timado, who's been finding space here on his Drow, getting back into the game. And that's what they don't want to allow happen. If Drow gets farmed enough, she could threaten Meepo in the mid and late game. So they're smoking through mid here. You can walk through if you cut the tree. They're going to do it. Eat the tree with a tangle.
That one tree. Oh, Tomato. Hey,
Oh,
hello. The smoke broke.
He definitely sees them. He's drawing now. He's hiding in the trees, trying not to get detected.
Where are you? Where are you, Beast Coast? Well, yeah, I mean, super close in terms of farm between all these cores. Okay, Meepo is up at the top with about 800 lead. But Beastmaster, Drow, Ember, no one's slipping behind. They're all going to find these key items. Yeah, their timing's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's looking pretty fair and even, but we'll see how much Meepo can take over the match now that he has the full Rod of Atos, if he's going to start playing more aggressive. He also has level 2 on the ultis, so got that extra Meepo. This is where I'm really expecting him to try and ramp up the speed of this game, because I don't think he only wants to farm. I think they want to get more than just a farm game going. And the big part perhaps is the Blink Dagger for Mars when he gets it. He's 100 gold away now.
And TSM going to use this time to clear out the ancient stacks. Schofield being very annoying. The Watcher, the High Ground Observer Ward. Giving a lot of vision here to try and soak up some of that golden experience. But Kasane takes the majority of it.
Yeah, he's gonna get a pretty nice timing here as well on Beastmaster. The Aghanims, I hyped up how important it is this game. He went for the Vanguard Mana Boots and has Ogre Club and 1,100 gold. So still needs 2 components, but he's halfway there to the Aghanims.
Beast Coast, halfway across the map, 4 heroes smoked up.
It's Drow again.
Yeah, where's Tomato?
They're hunting.
Yet to see this big combo. Arena, Kisses, Chain Frost. They probably don't need every element of it. Gust attempted by Tomato. Spear attempted by Dark Margot. Everything missing, apart from the Kisses. They'll land on top of the Drow Ranger and the Chain Frost is in. Drow will fall and the bouncing back. Braille and White One in trouble as well. This lets Chain Frost causing some serious hurt for TSM. Kasane's here with a roll though. Aiming for Dark Margot, Cookie over the top of the Sleight of Fist dodges. Remnant safety there as Kasane should be able to bring down the Mars in the end, but Beast Coast, they've got the arrival of the Meepo now, and that's going to cut this one short.
Oh, we are getting close to Mega Meepo as well. Only 1,100 gold away, and the Mega Meepo is online. Going to be a very annoying thing for him to deal with, but that was a good pickoff. They simply went by deduction of, you know, we know where the Drow isn't. He's not farming bottom. We got a nice lane ward on the bottom, below the bottom lane, sorry. And they have the Ancient Vision, so they went to the one place where Drow could be farming, found him, and even though the initiation wasn't super clean, they didn't get spear on him, didn't really matter. No way for Drow to run away.
Dark Margot. Yeah, I'm gonna take up the rune, make sure Ari doesn't get it. But yeah, that process of elimination, such an underrated tool in the arsenal of Dota 2 players. Like, okay, you've got vision, you've got hawks and wards. Meepo is scouting around with all his little clones. You know where they're not, so you can, yeah, like you say, kind of deduce where they are.
Yeah, and I like the way Dark Margot is playing this carry Mars. I mean, he really isn't the carry. It's still the story that the Meepo is the carry, only for mid lane, but he's still playing the same active style of Mars that we would have seen if he was on the mid lane, even though he has a little bit less experience than if he was soloing mid. So, not changing his playstyle, you know, going for different item build or anything, but looking for these kills, looking to be aggressive and have sort of the authority of what's going to happen this game, and that makes it hard for TSM to make their own moves. We haven't really seen TSM go for a big gank yet.
No, and looking at the items they're trying to pick up, I don't think they're planning to anytime soon. Drow Ranger is going for a Hand of Midas. Yeah.
It's very greedy, but honestly, Midas isn't terrible when you have very little map control on mids.
Ember, the chain stuns? Is he going to get out of this with a slight and a remnant? He is. 300 health remaining. He's a tricky kill.
Yeah, not the easiest one to bring down. I think they were a little bit unclean in the full chain stun there. But of course, only level 1 on Telekinesis still, only level 1 on Sinister Gaze. It's pretty hard to bring him down. The duration isn't the longest. They kind of need Meepo. Meepo looking at top right now. Beastmaster doesn't have Aghanims yet.
Ah, this could be a juicy pick-off for Jim Park.
He sends the courier at him.
Courier scouts.
The first attack.
My Little Pony flies over the Beastmaster. He'll control it up, and the kisses come and snared for days. And Jim Park with Sacred there to slay the Beastmaster up top.
Well, I mean, he got more than 400 gold for killing the courier there, and then he fed, 580 gold for dying, so almost an even trade.
Can they kill Bryle? Sinister Gaze, Spear, Chain Stuns, Have they got it with the telekinesis? It's close again, but it's that 200 HP threshold they're not able to break through. Now Arena onto Ari. He'll lasso up the lich. Trying to drag Stinger into the Firefly, but this God's Rebuke from Dark Margo too much to handle as Whitemon gets ensnared and dived by Jim Park under the tier 2.
Yeah, he's going ham on Meepo right now. He's very confident. He has Mega Meepo available, so he can be really aggressive now with how deep he goes in. He's gonna start looking at these towers and secure themselves control on the map so that Dire can take Roche. And even right now, stealing the enemy Ancients while pushing mid tower as well. Things are crumbling for TSM. They need to do something. They need to go together and find a move here. Because right now, they're just in the backseat. They're just going wherever Beast Coast will take them.
Yeah, man, it's like TSM sitting on a beach, and you don't really notice when a big tidal wave is coming, just this swelling of water until it's right over the top of you. That's what Meepo feels like right now, a massive tsunami about to crash down on them.
Yeah, the fact that Aghanim Scepter on Beastmaster is gonna hit after Aghanim Scepter is done on Meepo already means that Meepo has a counter. Not only one, he just picked up the Aghanim Shard. He has 2 counters now to getting bursted. If you roar one of the Meepos, they can always get saved by the Mega Meepo, pulling them out of the stun. And if you don't go with roar, then you can always burrow the top.
Yeah, just dig down. Well, that's seen. They're trying to go on him, but exactly the counter you were talking about. Mega Meepo's there. He drags them, makes the totem pole, all standing on top of each other's shoulders, and a spear back on the Bat Rider is going to give the focus to Beast Coast to kill off Ari. Should be able to get the damage in. Dark Margo is being chased back, but a good cookie to save with the Greaves over the top. They've sustained through TSM's initiation, and now the kisses, landing onto Whitemon, chasing TSM back. The Arena from Dark Margo traps in 3 of them, beautifully done. Quite a lot of damage from Kasane and Whitemon, though, as they do try and turn. Ari has returned with a buyback from the Bat Rider. TP out, Sacred, looks like he's going to be cancelling the TP, wanting to fight. Stinger falls, buys back himself, Jim Park's gone, and TSM, they mounted a defense of this tower up top. Yeah, Sacred.
They're gonna get him too. There's no way he can get away.
Yeah, he's got no escape. A triple kill for Tomato in a fight that looked like Beast Coast were dominating.
Full team wipe. Yeah, that looked really great, but they overcommitted a little bit too deep. Got punished by the multi-shot of Tomato. He came in at the right time there, gets a very nice turnaround on the fight, and Meepo, I said that he can work really well against Drow in general, but only if you can go on him in mid.
Oh, here's the chain stun. A 3rd time's the charm, Wago. They tried twice, failed, and now they succeed.
You know what? They have 1 more point in Sinister Gaze. That's the difference now. They have 1 more point. That's all they needed, baby. 0.3 more seconds to hit. And maybe the tower difference? Well, it could have been the tower DPS and the creeps and the fact that Ember wasn't full HP, but let's pretend it was all about that 1 more point.
Oh, yeah. Sweeping down bottom as well. They've just missed out on catching Tomato, gone through the Twin Gate, and Whitemon's going to TP up there as well. So TSM really following that game plan that you talked about during the draft. Playing very tight-knit, playing together. Now they've got a couple of items up. Drow Aghanims is here along with the Beastmasters. And they can start thinking about like a fight into Roche now, right?
Yeah, they can. Both teams are definitely considering Roche and how they're going to play around it. So we're going to see possibly the smoke get used by Beast Coast if they want to move over there. They were trying to go through... Actually, did they pick up on this? The portal. The portal was used with smoke. They didn't see it.
Oh, Dark Margo going to get dragged back. Flame break into lasso. Roar overlapping, but they've got sufficient damage to kill him before he can really have any answers. Stinger just bailing on it. Might get caught, though. Yeah, Bryle. He kept tabs on him. That Radiant Observer Ward keeps the vision on the Lich. Allows Bryle there with Kasane to find another takedown.
Yeah, that was a nice play. It worked out really well for TSM. It's so annoying, but you kind of have to have people just constantly checking the Fog War portal to see if someone is going. Like, just look at the portal, try and see if it's channeling or not. But the smoke through portal, it's a risky play since the opponent can detect your smoke that way. But it worked out really well for him this time.
Yeah, there's the fight victory into the Roshan. This is Drow Rangers Aegis, right?
They're coming, though. The contest is coming to punish. It's not going to be in time, but maybe they fight anyway.
Well, they might do. That's what Beast Coast love to do. Disadvantageous potentially. Dark Margo with his BKB. Arena's Kasane and Bryle. Spears the Beastmaster up to the side, but the heals from White on the mech of the Soul Rip. They're trying to kill this Beastmaster off. He was almost healing through it all, but now Jim Park, he's got to try and dig, tunnel down underground. And Sacred's been left all alone on an island. The Snapfire's caught up in all the roots. And look at this with a lasso on the Mega Meepo. They've dragged him back. Jim Park, the poof, off he goes, hopping away, can't catch him. Schofield will be left here to the wolves though, as TSM will turn on the Rubik.
He poofed to an illusion. I was like, wait, aren't all his meeples over here? But yeah, he had illusions over in the jungle. You can poof to illusions. So able to get out of that. Meepo now has Blink. I want to say Sacred was the only one who did the right thing in that fight for Beast Coast. Even though he died and was left alone, he went on the Drow. And they kind of need to. Even into Aegis, if you don't go on Drow, she has Aghanim Scepter as well. She's going to just shred you. She went with the Aghanim's build, which allows you to get the sort of the old shard, but better. You have the hypothermia and all that, which is insanely strong against Meepo, of course, and also insanely strong to just clear stuff if you stack up. They stacked up, they didn't go on Drow, they got punished hard by the multi-shot and Drow's DPS. Going on Beastmaster is probably not the ideal target when he has Pipe and Aghanim Scepter. I think that jump was sadly not going to work out.
Yeah, that's the kind of hero you either burst in like a second and a half or you just leave him alone.
And they can't. They just can't. They're never going to be able to burst Beastmaster super fast with this build. It's not going to happen with the heroes they have.
Oh, mid lane pressured in by TSM. Drow and a couple of boars. The other four smoking up top. Meepo, he is spotted. Lassoed up, and they've got stuns for days. He has tunneled down underground. Jim Park roared now, though. I don't think he's slipping out of this one. He brings all the other Meepos in, trying to play around with them, but he's surrounded. And Bryle's on the hunt looking for that additional target. Let's see if they can get the Schofield cherry on top. Now let's go back to pushing the tower instead.
Yep. Headed back towards mid, play objectives. This is what you want to do. You have the Aegis, and even without Drow joining in, I don't think you can fight this since you lost your Meepo, and you still have to respect the pickoff here. Drums come out.
God, it is spooky times for these Beast Coast supports. Like Lich and Rubik, they're playing in fog, trying to hide with his Pavis and Frost Shield. If they get scouted, they can die so quickly. Oh, Bryle TPing out. That spear nearly caught him.
People have Meepo. This is very early to fight.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Stolen Roar, the Chain Frost and the Kiss is in, but Ari has got tons of heals behind him thanks to Whitemon's undying, and now it's Stinger, who is dying. Cookie, back up towards the high ground, not able to finish him off. The spear on the Ember Spirit now. The damage and the control is lacking, though. Like you said, with no Meepo really involved, they're struggling to stick on people. Jim Park, he'll blink straight on in, though. Poof galore onto this Ember. Silenced up now, though, and turned around on. They've taken him down immediately. Beast Coast handing this team fight and potentially just the game on a silver platter to TSM as they get cleared out in that mid lane. Batrider towards Dark Margot. Hypothermia on him. Sticky Napalm, and Ari's blink forward will get the Firefly damage to stop him blinking away. And there it is. Sacred's going to get dived as well, I think. They don't land the slight chains, bro. A little misplay, but
keep going,
they're going under tier 3s and tier 4s. Whitemon and Ari, they're desperate for this. Hungry for Sacred. Give me some grilled alligator. Nah.
Team is calling, no, play objectives, stop diving. Whitemon and Ari are like, no, but we can get him though, guys. And they're gonna get him.
Yeah, they are. Oh, yeah, there we go. Finally finishing him off. And then Bryle's like, yeah, I helped, guys. Remnant's there.
Whitemon and Ari can back off and see, like, see, team, we could kill him.
Oh, really? All right, yeah, it's well done by TSM, but it's got to be said, like, Beast Coast, a little sloppy coming into these team fights.
More than a little. The way they take these fights, it's not looking organized at all. It's falling apart right now. And they need to start structuring up the fight. They have to go in at the same time with Mars and Meepo. They have to go on the right targets. Otherwise, they just get picked off. Drow is having the easiest time ever when they come in like this.
Yeah, still has Aegis for 30 seconds, and I believe a BKB is coming out on the courier for her. Pretty huge.
She's getting real strong right now, and picking off Lich.
Yeah, pretty simple one. And then it's all these auras as well. Pipe Crimson on Beastmaster. Undying nearly has Greaves, plus level 4 Soul Rip. If you go on one target, they're going to get healed up tremendously.
I'm not sure you can stop this push even. Like, what are you going to do here?
Try with the Arena Spear. Shard from Dark Margot connects on 2 of them. Kisses are just not enough damage, though. Kasane and Bryle pretty happy to stand there and fight. Little Shredder will clear out the Tombstone at least, but TSM not going to be stopping this barracks push.
It's again a jump where they don't jump with Mars and Meepo at the same time, though. It's always like one of the two of the pos 1 and pos 2. That's the difference. Drow and Ember been working together every single fight now, and you don't have the same thing happening for Beast Coast here. It's very half a half and half kind of play, It's not working.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, I mean,
Now
they've
they
got-
can just back up. TSM can reset, take control. They're going to ward up the ancient area, control it.
Jim Park, his Meepo is trying to split out the entire map, pushing top and bottom, farming ancients. If this Meepo gets caught, buyback is available for him, but it often feels like Meepo a hero that doesn't
big
ever want
dive
to buy
here.
back. And Mars caught out. Brawl's BKB allows him to play with complete freedom. And Radiant Vision has spotted out Jim Park. Let's see if Kasane wants to go on him. Meepo gets the high ground.
This is what I like though. TSM, they realized that, okay, we used our jump mid. We can't really keep committing for this. We don't have the resources. Gonna back now, wait a little bit, play around your cooldowns. Again, they have the lasso available, so they can start going for this tier 2 tower. And if anyone defends, that could be an easy pickoff. Also, Meepo's damage is going to be nothing now with the Crimson Guard and the pipe. Like, the pipe doesn't do anything for Meepo really, but the Crimson Guard is terrifying for him.
Oh, Ari just finding jump after jump. And they do have this telekinesis to buy a bit of time for Sacred. Try and drag TSM to high ground where the Meepo is waiting. Goes back in with the Atos and the ensnare. No follow through there though for Jim Park. Has to mega Meepo up. And TSM just able to retreat back to a high ground. Hold this position. Nice little pincer movement into mid and bottom lane. Perfect place for Radiant to be playing from when they're ahead.
There's some risky stuff trying to defend this tier 2. They're 11,000 gold behind. Look at the positioning of TSM. They want to go behind on the supports.
Oh yeah, find the heroes lurking in the fog. Bryle straight onto Schofield and Stinger. The Pavis is there. The cookie misplaced. Schofield turned. And he'll meet his maker. Bryle dominating now. That's going to be a freebie tier 2.
Finally gonna go down. They know Meepo is still around. They scan him out, but just gonna shoo him away, it seems. Batrider chasing.
I wasn't far off. Bryle nearly had him. And Dark Margot, he's just straight in. Kisses on the arena. Whitemon getting healed up again, just sustaining through a lot of it. Now you've spent a couple of big teamfight ultis just for an undying kill.
He died to a Tormentor, I think.
Oh yeah, Schofield died to bought back and died to a Tormentor. Whitemon died to a neutral creep. And Parker getting changed up.
Yeah, I think the neutral creep is the Tormentor brought him down.
Lasso on the Rubik. Another cookie. Trying to get Schofield out of danger. He did just buy back, so dying here.
Yeah, he's out of position.
Pretty sad for Beast Coast. Now they're down a hero for 70 seconds.
Yeah, this is super rough. The siege can definitely continue here. They're missing their Undying, but they're gonna play disciplined, it seems. They know that Roshan shouldn't be too far off respawning, so backing up and going towards top as Meepo is trying to find enough farm to complete a hex, but he's still quite a while away from it. Needs to farm even more, 1600 gold more.
Well, yeah, Meepo's one of those heroes in my brain in a category of his own, along with, like, I don't know, Shadow Fiend and Anti-Mage, where buying back never feels good.
Yeah. I mean, he can be a good buyback hero once he has all the items that he wants, like, that's nice. He can easily farm that gold, but buying back and losing your timings feels awful, definitely.
Yeah.
You want to play around timings, and actually that's what TSM look like to be doing here. Even though Roche is spawning soon, they're just going. They know that they're stronger right now for fighting, and if anyone tries to defend, it could be an easy pick off with Ember or Batrider. So they're gonna try and knock on the high ground possibly.
Yeah, Drought has a bottled DD, so I guess they can pick their moment.
They don't see anyone really, and now they see the split push on the side lanes, they're gonna go up.
Oh, the stolen slide. That's not what Schofield was intending. Gave away his position and allowed Ari to jump him. So here goes the melee ranks, and likely the entirety of the mid lane as Tomato gets off his BKB in time to dodge Dark Margot's arena spear. Kisses there onto Kasane, but look at how tanky he is. Beastmaster just stands his ground, bangs his drums, bongo bongo, down you go. Beast Coast lose 4 heroes. A couple of that buybacks, but yeah, Sacred just says, screw it, GG, tap out, let's go game 2.
Yeah, this first game, it fell apart. It fell apart really hard. I think there were a lot of moments where it looked good in the start, but then the fights that they took on Beast Coast were not clean enough. They didn't play cohesive between the POS 1 and POS 2, and I think that could really be one of the big things that hurt them here. They need to overwhelm TSM with all the resources at the same time instead of sending in one by one and just going down to Drow Ranger.
Yeah, and it felt like perfect itemization by TSM as well.
Look at Drow there. That multi-shot. Boom.
Oh. Your arena, you thought I was going to save you? Nah, not happening.
Yeah, you can actually shoot into the arena with that. Very useful for her.
Yeah, with this Greaves, Pipe, Crimson Guard, like nobody was dying on TSM's side against this now a potentially overwhelming team fight that Beast Coast was trying to bring to the fight. It's so important just to outstay it.
Yeah,
don't get overwhelmed.
I mean, there was definitely a point where the Beastmaster countered everything, I want to say as well, because it's simple to say that, oh my god, look at Drow, she's just killing everyone. Well, yeah, but look at Beast. They can't kill him. And he put himself always in a shielding position between the enemy team and his team. He walked first, knowing that you cannot burst me. The point he had Pipe and Aghanim Scepter, he is nearly already unkillable, with Vanguard as well, of course. And then he gets the Crimson Guard. At that point, I don't know, if you use all your resources, he might still live. Because if you have all the meeples surrounding him, he's going to get a ton of HP from that.
Yeah, and then when you have Beastmaster in that position, Drow Ranger behind, it gave so much freedom to, like, Ari to do whatever he wanted. He was finding the exact pickoffs they needed, catching Schofield, getting lassos on the Meepo. He knew where he needed to be, just playing the outskirts of the fight, finding the picks. That really elevated TSM.
Great use of the Hawk with the Beastmaster combination with the Batrider. The fact that you can, set up for a Batrider, blink in, find the target, pull them back, and then you still have Roar as well after doing that. So if someone tries to help whoever you're pulling in, you just roar that person as well, and you get yourself a bonus kill. And we saw that many times in that game. So game number 1 here definitely didn't work out for Beast Coast, even though the laning stage looked pretty strong and they had a good start. I think it fell apart a lot on execution, to be honest, as the laning stage was really impressive. And I think there were moments when they could have taken this.
Yeah, and now we get to the situation where it's that, interesting age-old question. Game 1 victory, can they ride the momentum to get the 2-0? Will they take the series, get themselves to that main event? Or can Beast Coast do what you were talking about? 2 games, so let's do it now. Start with Game 2. We'll have a quick break and return with the rest of the series.
Open your eyes.
When you look into my eyes, tell me what do you see?
Tonight I'm gonna show you the wonders of them all.
Hey, I nothing to lose. So is this what you want in? You wanna war? Show me what's up then. Now we ready to bust in. Take everything, leave them with nothing.
There is a place where you can elevate what's hidden inside. Where you can reframe yourself. Sonomi means the new you. The you can step into. Because when we know who we really are, we become unstoppable. Enter new dimensions of you. Sonomi.
Welcome back, folks. Here we are with the RIyadh Masters continuing as it's into the deciding match portion of the play-ins, getting ourselves into this series between TSM and Beast Coast, and TSM looked very clean in game one, taking the victory there, Waga.
They did, very structured. Their team play was really really flawless. I want to say their positioning was good. Even though they had a tough early game there, Tomato found his way back into the game. They made some big efforts to try and shut down this Drow Ranger with a lot of big heroes, or big rotations from many heroes to try and shut him down. But at the end of the day, they found their structure in TSM. They put this Beastmaster to front line. They had the Batrider for pickoffs. The Undying was there to help whoever gets gone on. And honestly, Ember did whatever he wanted. He went on the backline supports usually, and nobody really stopped him from cutting people down. So, well played by TSM, but Beast Coast, it just looked a little bit too disjointed. I think they need to find each other more in these initiations, have something perhaps that's a little bit easier to burst people with. Because as much as I enjoyed their draft, I think they didn't have the sense of security that, we can just go late game, everything is chill. Because they know if they take it late against Drow, at some point it's going to be impossible. And that probably stressed them out a bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a Beast Coast classic at this point. Lose game one and then win game 2 and 3. Need a bit of warm-up to get themselves up and running. And they did try something a little new and spicy there, right? Putting Jim Park mid with a Meepo. That Meepo last pick was meant to be a bit of a gotcha. Safe lane Mars for Dark Margot. They shifted things around. We'll see if they change things back or look forward to this game number 2 in terms of what they do in the draft, as it looks like that's ready and waiting for us. Game 2 of TSM against Beast Coast here for our viewing pleasure in the RIyadh Masters. And get ourselves through this play-in and find out who's going to that main event.
Yeah, and here we see quickly going through the first phase bans. We see Broodmother being banned out first, Timbersaw in response, Undying get removed, and then Medusa as well being taken away by TSM here. And Beast Coast still get their hands on Chen here. Always a nice opening. Is it going to be Leshrac as response?
Oh, yes.
That's a pretty common response to Chen. But then they pick TB into Leshrac. This hero, it's a complicated one. So this matchup is worth talking a little bit about, because TB, he gets bursted by all the magic damage pretty hard. But we also saw what happened when Jim Park himself played his Terrorblade against this particular combo yesterday. He played against the IO Leshrac. And if you get Skadi on Terrorblade, then the healing from IO is not going to be that strong. The Bloodstone heal for Leshrac is also not going to work. And you can actually lock down and kill the Lesh. The question is, though, do you get strong enough on the Terrorblade to be able to do this? Or does Leshrac run away with it? Because IO Lesh, it is very potent. And it does counter the Chen really hard.
Oh, yeah, they can play that wide map really nicely. Yeah, like you said, it's something they did up against OG. And that TB, Darkseer, Earth Spirit. I think Earth Spirit was one of the key factors there, right? Someone who can go in, get on top of people, and give TB a little freedom. A bit of free reign in these fights to pick his targets and pick when he wants to use the Metamorphosis. Because that's the main thing. IOLesh don't care cooldowns. They can, at the drop of a hat, play on the map, start fighting wherever they want to. Terrorblade has, 150 second cooldown on his meta, so a little bit more limited on when and where he can fight.
Yeah, I mean, effectively it is a little bit lower cooldown than that, because you think about the duration adding in, so it's really just 100-second cooldown from when it runs out, at least. But yeah, it is very punishing, and if you can ever bait out the meta and then just relocate away or run away just by your high movement speed, then that could be a big win. But yeah, I think we're going to see Beast Coast get something like a Tusk or an Earth Spirit to try and be able to take control over the fights. I also like the idea of either of those heroes, because you can, both on Tusk or ES, kick the Wisp or the Leshrac away from the other and make sure that you disjoint them from each other and get a kill. It's honestly a really, really good counter to these type of shenanigans. Yeah. And even just having the Ice Shard from Tusk can very often help lock down the Leshrac as he's running people down.
Would you put Clockwork into that same conversation?
A little bit, but it's a little bit less potent in the separation necessarily. It can hold them still for a little while, but since, overcharge and they have super attack speed, they just auto attack through the cogs and kind of run through it fast. It doesn't work as well. But if you can, get Aghanims on a Tusk, then you completely solve it. You just kick the Wisp away and then snowball after him and punch him. Suddenly Lesh has to run after him, find his ball, while your other heroes might focus down on that Leshrac.
He gets kicked in the ball. He's going to go and find it.
Yeah, the combo gets kicked in the ball.
Poor fella. Oh, Doom, Primal Beast, Darkseer, Ember, Rubik, and the Mars. All getting removed in that second phase. Batrider again for TSM. Still flexible. We did see Ari play it in game 1. And I guess with this Lesh most likely heading into mid, this means a 3 or 4 bat.
Yeah, this probably will be pos 4, I would assume, just with limited information, but it could definitely still be pos 3. The question is just, do you want another real, like, non-stop pick-off hero as your pos 3 when you already have IO Leshrac possibly running around creating a ton of chaos? You usually enjoy having an offlaner who farms more, but Batrider can also fill that role. He can be greedier and then use the space that IO and Lesh create.
Yeah, and then probably, especially with Kasane, right? He's been well known since he joined the team as being that Zoo player. Loves his Beastmasters and Lycans. The Visage can come out as well. So I think you're probably right. Batrider as the 4, and then look for something more map pressure focused with a bit of Zoo for the offlaner of TSM.
Yeah. I mean, especially after last game with how well it worked to have that Batrider go for pickoffs and just play that drum boots blink dagger gameplay. It worked out super well. So we'll see what Beast Coast reaction is going to be here.
Right, is there a threat of Beast Coast going like all in Zoo themselves? Like they've got Chen TV, they could think about Lycan Beastmaster and stuff like this themselves, right? For that quick tempo.
They could. I like the idea of them getting some pickoff heroes for the IO or Batrider. I was going to say Legion Commander or something like that could be nice, because then you get press the attack for the lasso as well. But they're going to go Storm here. Storm always thrives against the IO in general. Really great hero for jumping in and kill the IO, which is usually the important target in IO combinations. You hardly ever want to let him just run around and do what he wants. Now they can reach him no matter how far he is.
And you see 2 supports in a core, which have pretty limited stuns. Should be pretty easy for the Storm. They do have to double pick, though. So already 2 cores and a support. You might see the Schofield hero come out. It's going to be a Nyx Assassin. Okay, so no Tusk Earth Spirit or Clockwork. The Nyx.
That is also a pretty good hero against the Leshrac, though, and Batrider as well. I mean, Spike Carapace looks amazing now with Underlord as well. Spike Carapace can set up stun on all these heroes in a very good way. If you use your ulti as Leshrac or W, you're just an easy target. Firefly, easy target. Or if you Firestorm as Underlord, that's also very easy for Nyx to set up. Also, you have the mana reduction on the Nyx hit, can be good against Lesh, but since IO gives so much mana back very rapidly, it might not be as important this game.
So what's left out here? Beast Coast need their offlaner for Sacred, most likely. And this Nyx is probably a Schofield hero. He's loved these kind of guys that lurk in behind enemy lines, scouting people out.
I think so. And I would love for this Nyx to just go for a full pick-off build, get the Dagon. Dagon 1 and then go into Shard, honestly. I would have preferred to see that, because you have Storm as well. Your damage can be so massive here.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
No, I actually want him to, man. I actually think that against the IO Batrider and Leshrac, I think there's going to be a big map being played. I actually
Hell
think
yeah.
so.
Love a bit of Dagon play. PL and Naga gone. Now some focus onto Sacred. Yeah. There's Pango and Snapfire, 2 of his key heroes.
I will say this, though, to go back to the Dagon. If he goes Dagon 1, then Shard. Never Dagon 5 without Shard. Never on Nyx. It's not worth. That Shard is incredible. And it's very strong with Storm and team, because it increases the magic, or it gives magic resist reduction for everything.
The efficiency play.
Yes.
Get the shard in there, slot it in.
Is this, did some damage testing for that. Is very, very important.
Oh,
There's no way you skip it.
Is this just like a tied game?
I was thinking what they need. They need something that is definitely providing frontline. I don't know if you just go back for... I want to say Beastmaster still, actually, for them. It becomes a little bit awkward, perhaps, but you have Chen, you have Terrorblade. You benefit really well from the auras right now. The attack speed aura would be really strong for you. And having Roar as well would be one more good lockdown. They're going to go Veno. Trying for the slow play. We saw this before, the Veno slow against IO Lesh. It's actually decent. That's what they had last time when they played against this. So they enjoy Veno as a response to Io Lesh twice that they have done it now.
Yeah, and Veno historically has been a hero that doesn't have any like key items he needs, so he often fills the holes in the draft in itemization. Spirit Vessel, auras, Force Staff, whatever. I think primarily an urn and a vessel could be pretty handy for him here. And when you're against Bat and Underlord, who are like super sluggish, slow heroes, these slows, they stack up.
Yeah, Vessel is great here. He could go like Vessel, Drum Boots, and Force Staff, something like that would be a good utility build, just to keep your team alive. I think you would be very happy to have some form of save against the Underlord Pit of Malice into Leshrac Stun and stuff like this. So having later on a Force Staff, but early on, definitely a Vessel would be fantastic to get or just earn for laning stage.
So usually with this IO, it gets to like 15 minutes in and his partner is a Leshrac, but in the laning stage, we're going to have like Bat Underlord lane, Lesh mid. Who's another partner with IO that you'd be happy laning into a Veno Nyx lane?
I mean, they banned out the obvious one that they were going to pick. The Naga Siren would have been a fantastic pick here for TSM, but them banning out Naga, you might go for some form of maybe Slark gameplay even, but then you really want the IO with you more. It's tough to say what they should go for here. Maybe it's just back towards Bloodseeker even.
Like, is Morphling okay here?
Morphling does well against Terrorblade here. The danger, though, is that you're playing Morph into Storm and Nyx. Like, you can get picked off so fast. It's very, very dangerous. I wouldn't be confident going for Morphling pick. I'd probably go for some carry that's just more sustainable. They could even go for... actually, they can still go for something like a Lifestealer themselves and just do Infest Bombs with a Batrider later on.
Or a carry DK.
Yeah, I mean, they can. Okay, they go for the Slark. So my first instinct was still right then.
The gut read.
Yeah, but it's nice. The Slark makes sense here because you're playing against the Venomancer, but it's still a little bit tricky though to play Slark and not have the Wisp steroid you up. But the nice thing is you're gonna whenever you're under vision. So if you get jumped by Nyx or Storm, you will have info on that first. So as a carry, you can be very happy here, being Slark. And you can still also save people decently with the Shard later on if they get focused by Terrorblade right clicks. He provides a little bit of everything, and he enjoys playing a big map. And this is going to be a big map. So, makes sense. The Slark is very logical pick here.
Yeah, because there is that kind of weird matchup with the TB, right? Like, Slark is an anti-melee hero. TB with his Metamorphosis up can cause a lot of problems. But once he gets a Shard, he's got two tools there to like sit on the TB, not get sundered, and maybe play around with this maneuverability of the Bat and the IO to get that damage in there. There's not that many saves from Beast Coast outside of potential itemization.
Yeah, no, they don't really save people. They want to kill people. They have the Chen for healing, and that's about it. And that's why I was saying get Drum Boots, upgrade the Bongo Boots for Venomancer. That little bit of speed can be very useful to disengage out of like Leshrac. You can, run even though you get lightning slowed or whatever, just reposition. And the Force Staff as well. Like build some utility that can save, but then, like you called immediately, the Spirit Vessel. Recognize that you're against a team that relies on Wisp healing. Wisp healing with Leshrac Bloodstone, you need to get the heal mitigations. Vessel, Skadi, ideally a Shivas later on as well on this Underlord, if you can get there.
I'm just sitting here grinning to myself like a fool because IO was at the front of the...
Oh, sorry, not Underlord, on the Venomancer.
On the Venomancer, yeah. This IO skin just brings a smile to my face every time I see it. His derpy little face is adorable. A little tongue sticking out. What a cutie pie.
Yeah, this is a great skin. Absolutely amazing. He looks like a fish. A little fish.
He's a little gremlin. Oh, I come bottom. Get the Watcher. 4 heroes here smoked from TSM. Closing in on Stinger's Chen. Doesn't look like they'll connect on anything just yet.
Stinger just such a good read on this. Like, he went there, tried to break the smoke, and then backed up just in time. Like, this is no coincidence that he walked there, stood there for as long as he did, and then started walking away again. It works out well for him. But they do get that word.
Yeah, this is something that's been done when you've got a Doom on your team, and when you're against the Chen or Enchantress, right? We used to have the medium camp in the bottom jungle get warded. Now it's all about the double camp down near the outpost that gets warded up. Make sure you block the camp. Don't let Chen have easy access to creeps. And also an early ward up in that top lane. Watching out across towards the Watcher and the tier 1.
And we see Invasion here taking over the bottom rune. Not going to be easy for Terrorblade or Chen here. They're not going to get anything. But Chen going in for some right clicks, actually.
Yeah. Reflection and the Penitence. TB taking a bit of a beating. We've seen the situation before. You were talking about his kind of low HP pool, high effective HP. He's half health, but under a tower and with a tango, should be fine for the lane.
Yeah, should just regenerate one tango usage, is gonna solve that entirely. It's gonna be fine. Chen has a sentry, but not gonna go immediately drop the sentry. He's thinking about it though. Yeah, he's pinging it. This camp is blocked. He got a read on it. Is he doing it? He's waiting. He's waiting to be sure that it's blocked. So, not gonna insta do it. He doesn't have a Holy Persuasion yet anyway, so it's not like he needs to unblock it yet.
He needs to come back and defend his TB a little bit. Kasane, Atrophy Aura level 1, and Ari with that Flame Break. Just a bit of prodding there on Jim Park. And we see up in that top lane, Nyx Assassin Venomancer against an IO Slark. And TSM, a couple of squishies up here. If they get clipped by a stun, a level 2 for Beast Coast is pretty potent. Got to be very careful with your positioning.
Yeah, it's very strong. The Gale coming in and as well having the Mind Flare gonna hurt a lot. And Slark hates laning against Venomancer. This is just an awful lane for him. Getting repeatedly Poison Stinged is going to make it very tough for him. He'll be dreaming of his level 6 all laning stage here, hoping to get that region. You know, he's out of tangles already, but Wisp has more.
So what can you and can't you dispel from Venomancer nowadays?
You can dispel the Q and the W, but
Okay.
the ulti is not dispellable as far as I know.
So in lane should
Yeah.
be okay to get rid of that nasty poison.
Yeah, but at least he has the Wisp to provide this continuous regeneration, so he'll be fine. But once the second point comes in on the Poison Sting, he'll start hurting. So 11 and 5 on the Underlord, having a really, really clean time CSing here on bottom so far. The Underlord is usually a very happy hero against Terrorblade due to damage reduction with the E and just his massive damage last hits.
Yeah, that early harassment on TB. The fact Chen's been kind of walking around trying to find wards and D-wards. Trying to gain access to his small camp at the same time as top lane Tomato. Dark Pact gets a little bit of poison off, but there we go. The first blood, and Whitemon will tether back under tower. But a kill on the Slark going to be very nice there for Sacred and Schofield.
This is pretty problematic lane, actually. They die, and the lane is still in a bad spot for them, and they don't have the pull available yet. He gets the D-ward now on the Wisp, but that lane is looking pretty painful right now. They don't have a way to stop this, since they themselves blocked up the big camp as well. They're just going to have to accept that Venomancer is farming all this back under tower.
Yeah, Venomancer, one of these really oppressive position 3s. We've seen it go both ways. Veno and Visage, these slow, annoying laning heroes. If you kill them a couple of times, their lane's over. But if they get the upper hand, things can spiral quickly. Schofield there, going to grab the Lotus. Make sure Tomato and Whitemon don't get their hands on it. Keep playing out the lane as normally as possible.
Yeah, and he goes for the right skill build on Venomancer. Man, sometimes I see people go for the 2-1-0 build on Venomancer, and I feel like it's so weird to witness on a post 3 at least. The W scales very awkwardly, but gets incredibly strong on level 2.
Especially when you're against a melee carry, just continually hitting him.
Yeah, for sure. Get that duration and damage increase.
Well, with a little bit of quiet in the side lanes for now. Mid, we've not really looked too much into that. Storm against Lesh. How's that meant to go?
Yeah, it's a lightning showdown, you know. You got Lightning Storm versus Storm Spirit himself. So whoever can zap better wins. Usually, Leshrac is very strong in this lane. He's not really threatened by the Q of Storm at all. If you try to make any form of Vortex play, you might just die instead on Storm. So this is a pretty tough matchup, and so far we see him do pretty alright. He's 17 and 2 against 22 and 5, so pretty even. Bottom lane, Kasane.
This level 2 Atrophy Aura. It keeps him alive.
Yeah, TB not doing any real damage there. Mine's 14% already.
He hit him like 10 times. Underlord was like 300 HP. TB hits him like 10 times. There's nothing to him.
Yeah, and he's going to tango up with this ring as well. He's going to be fine. Now they have a lot of creeps as well, so he can play pretty aggressively.
Yeah, look to chase under that tower maybe. Jim Park, 11-1 charges. Can be handed a tango by the Chen as well. All going very nicely for TSM in that bottom lane. A nice contrast to the Slark's 14 last hits as he struggles to get anything under his own tier 1. Schofield just chucking stuns at him.
He's trying to fight back a little bit, you know, don't accept being bullied like this. He's standing up for himself against the Nyx, but ultimately the Venomancer is just enjoying this lane so much. And Slark, he is doing alright in terms of CS, but he's also not really being given solo experience. Usually with Slarks, you want to give him solo to get level 6 early. He's in trouble even.
Yeah, he's not comfortable at all.
He's fine.
And he's alive. I don't know about fine.
Yeah, no HP regen on him still, but here comes the Gale.
Yeah.
On the Wisp.
Round 2. Good 2-man stun. Schofield. Body block up Tomato and look for this additional kill. Sacred double kill for the Venomancer. Hey, that lane's over for TSM now.
Yeah, you can come back there, but I mean, you have such a long way to level 6, and that's what I was talking about. He died twice already on Slark. He's only level 3.5. This is going to be very problematic because Veno is only 1 level away from having ulti, and at that point you can't even go close to him. So this Veno was a fantastic last pick here for them. Well, it wasn't even last pick. They picked Veno, and then Slark was picked into it.
Dark Margot getting dived under his tower. Flame Break comes. The stun from Schofield, buying a bit of time for the Storm, but he's still level 5 on Dark Margot, so chased down. As TSM bring 2 supports to rally around Braille's Lesh. Catapult Wave is there as well, but nicely done by Schofield to drag the creeps so the tower can focus the catapult down. And at the same time, bottom lane, Kasana yet again survives.
Yeah, he has the Vanguard. They tried to go on him, but he was completely fine. He just pulled the creeps on the tower, got the kill on the catapult, so doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Top lane though, this Venomancer now in trouble.
Yeah. Trying to get away from them, but Braille using this timing around level 6 very nicely, getting involved in as much action as he can, alleviate some of the pain and pressure that TSM have been suffering.
It's what we see with the 6-minute haste rune. It's, you know, a haste rune Lesh is fantastic. It's a really big power spike. They stack up jungle now, trying to set up for him a little bit here. But yeah, fantastic rune to have. He gets a really important kill on Venomancer there, generating some space for Slark to get his levels. He's caught up all the way to level 5 now. Veno? Oh no. Wait, don't die to just the Nyx. Ooh, that was close.
Like 15 health. Sad times.
Almost had him.
Back to Fountain you go. Midas is queued. Tomato knows where he's heading.
Yeah. It's despair time.
Dark Margot under a bit of dire vision, all the way from bot lane through to mid. Does get scouted, but Braille doesn't care. Storm wants to clear out the stacks.
Yeah, just kind of gets a lot of farm here going and using the Wisp. This is smart, though, by Wisp to leave his Slark early in this game and just let him solo. Because even if Wisp was top, it wouldn't really salvage that lane. And Slark would just get even less experience, despite the Wisp's effort to help him. So instead, he goes here and he's being very useful following the Lesh.
Yeah, it's like you're in a negative expected value lane. You're like, okay, you improve it by 10%, but you're still negative. You leave him alone, try and get to that 6. At least you got an advantage to play towards.
Now Arcane Rune for Storm, so that could set up his ganks. Lesh had his fun with the haste rune. Now Storm can always look to side lanes with a steepy scroll when he wants to. Top tower is being pressured quite a bit.
Tomato, how far are you? 200 XP?
Yeah.
Got a wave away from 6.
He knows that the Nyx is sitting behind him, goes out with his night vision, pokes at him, sees him. Leshrac wants to come help, but he also just wants to farm with his Wisp.
And I so often get done in by night vision. Like, I'll forget, like, Slark and Sniper and whatever have less night vision than... more night vision than usual. Like, Batrider with...
Stone. Yeah,
it's pretty nutty. There's Storm. Arcane Rune up. Braille getting focused. Schofield's going to come in, but Whitemon keeping Braille reasonably topped up until the Venomancer arrives. Now the damage over time, the stuns, the damage. It'll all land onto Braille, and very well done by Beast Coast. Aggressive posturing, well, basically diving tier 2 to get that kill.
Yeah, they really did that quite nicely there, and coming in with Sacred as well. I think if he wasn't there, that would not have been a kill, just guaranteeing it with Veno coming over as well. So bringing down Lesh, a big takedown, and that was the power of the Arcane Rune as well. Storm couldn't have made this play, so see the importance of controlling runes when you have heroes like Lesh and Storm. Any form of spirit hero on mid, Ember, Storm, Void, these heroes want runes so badly.
Yeah. And Jim Park down bottom doing some cool little things, dragging waves with his illusions, trying to make sure Kasane doesn't have a free push on the tower, which Underlord is so adept at doing, and clearing a wave and just shoving in.
Yeah, he's also farming really nicely now though on Unlord, getting to farm jungle camp plus the lane creeps. So this is pretty efficient farm for him. They're ganking him up now.
Yeah, matter. Jim Park gets the physical damage forward. Reflection and Vortex back. Kasane will die. A nice juicy wave there for the Terrorblade as well.
Yeah, coming back for the rune as well over here with Leshrac to gank a Chen.
Yeah, what's Stinger up to? Oh, Centaur Stomp. There's one of them. Let's see if we can get another. Well, Centaur just going to get killed off, and the Pulse Nova is enough damage to take out the Chen. All around the catapult wave. Storm, pretty long zip, doesn't catch up to Whitemon.
He's gonna be fine, unless they can do something here with Nyx, but no. Looked a bit like Miss Micro there by Chen, but it wasn't. He had cooldown on one of his stomps, so he actually couldn't have stunned with the other one. And both the Centaurs are solo HP. Couldn't really keep them around either next to the Leshrac.
And a little unfortunate for Sacred. He used his last urn charge. Gets the Spirit Vessel delivered now, fully completed, but it is empty.
Yeah. Looks like Timado has been huffing a bit of copium here and realized that it's fine. This game is fine. It's not as sad as Midas. We don't have to do it. He's going back for Diffusal, recognizing that he can play aggressive and gonna play to dominate the map. So the Blade of Alacrity coming out already. Leshrac farming up a Storm here. Wow. This ancient stack. Yeah. Even Kasane coming in like, hey, can I have some?
Please, sir, can I have some more? It's a little...
3 of the big creeps. I'd be happy with that.
A little sip of Ancients.
Ooh, yeah, it's probably danger. He's fine.
Being hunted by Schofield. But I can imagine Kasane is telling Tomato his slog, like, come on, bro, it's not as bad as that. It's not all doom and gloom. I'm having a fine time. Lashrac's doing okay. We'll get you involved eventually.
Yeah, he can just tuck away into jungle and just farm, and he'll be completely fine.
Oh, quick go on the Batrider. Simply done there. Schofield was lurking. And Dark Margot has that initiation tool.
And my boy Schofield, he's queuing up the Dagon. I love it.
Oh, yes.
It's going. It's how you play Nyx now. With a new Mind Flayer, it's no longer the same as playing with the old Mana Burn. You know, we're used to the old, Yaps or Nyxes and whatnot, running around and, controlling the game with a Yule Scepter rush, usually. But that play isn't as effective anymore. Nowadays, it's just get Dagon and burst people with the W. You have to be very mindful about where the enemy has vision, though. And that's where that Slark pick was pretty intelligent for them. Getting Slark, having a bit of guarantee that there's no wards and so on.
Do you still want to aim towards Aghanims as the Nyx? Or is that a thing of the past now?
No, the Aghanims is just... Unless the game is coming to a point where you desperately need team fights, it's not really a play. You completely skip it. It's just Dagon, Shard, and then you can go for some survivability if you want to. You can go E-Blade and go full burst. I would say Dagon, Shard, and then you can go either Force Staff or Blink or whatever.
Because it often felt like Nyx was kind of hoping for Philosopher's Stone and then hoping to get Ags,
Yeah. Well, that play was very clunky as well, though, in general, because you burrow down and then you want to play in that area. But it's a bit tough to use. It's mainly good when the enemy are guaranteed to be in a push strat, some all-in strat, then Aghanims Nyx could be good. The downside is Aghanims Nyx took too long to farm to defend against those usually as well.
And Dota is so free-flowing now with wider map, it's much harder to just bunker down somewhere. Beast Coast right now, trying to utilize the Chen creeps, Plague Wards, create a bit of a zone in the mid lane. They can just push that tier 1 safely. Give Jim Park all the freedom that he needs to keep on farming. It looks like a similar story to the game we saw yesterday. The TB just going Dragonlance into Skadi. Get some of that heal reduction against the Lesh and the Io.
Yeah, he's rushing that Skadi. He's gonna get it at a pretty early timing if he does it like this. I like the item build. A lot of players on Terrorblade would not go for a second item Skadi, but he's recognizing, the reason he picked Terrorblade into Leshrac and Io is because he believes that he can counter them, and he does that by itemization. So it's smart. If you just went Manta here, it would be a losing play for sure. Then we would see Leshrac be very happy. But with that early Skadi, it really complicates things. And it's also good against heroes like Underlord, who don't really have an mobility tool. Then you can get stuck to that Skadi and just die. Especially with Poison Sting as well available, you're just not going to be moving.
I just get bogged down, body blocked by Chen creeps and slowed to a crawl. What are these other big items? Chen still aiming for mech, I assume? He's got like 1,000 gold saved up.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he's going to be the mech buyer. Obviously, we talked about the Dagon. He's queuing up the 4-staff now on Nyx as well. So he still has the Dagon there, but he put the 4-staff as well. I think they're discussing whether he needs the 4-staff first. But you can see, I always love looking at the quick buy of players because you can see sort of an insight into their intention, what they want. Nothing out of the ordinary otherwise for most of them. I mean, Storm is going for the Witchblade with Falcon Blade, going to go for Kaya after that, almost guaranteed. And as the Spirit Vessel was completed on Venomancer, he's going for an Aghanim Scepter. That's the same thing he did last time. He went Aghanim Scepter on the Veno just to try and counter out the Leshrac and Wisp combo.
Yeah, and then there's Wisp, still thinking about mech into Lotus Orb. Underlord with all those tanky aura items. So it looks like TSM just looking to get the building blocks set in place, build up those foundations with all the auras to maybe give Slark and Lesher a bit of an easier time fighting into the TB.
Yeah, I just realized that if you have Nyx Shard and you have Aghanims on Venomancer, then you can have minus 37% magic resistance to the enemy from these two heroes. Don't really think about Veno and Nyx as a minus magic resistance combo, but that could be nasty with Storm, you know, like once these things get going. Just a minor thing. It's not really the major reason you buy the items here, but it could lead to heroes dying faster than you expect.
Where's the Veil then? Throw a Veil in there?
Dude, Veil is in another country, I think, another castle.
It's in another game.
Yeah.
Bloodstone done for Lash. First piece of the puzzle in place, clearing out even more stacks. I mean, Bryle getting pretty huge.
And they got really ready now, with Bryle getting his Bloodstone, like you said. Also, Mech completing in 50 gold here for Wisp. He's gonna get it very, very soon. If he gets one of these last hits, or if he just, you know, waits a few seconds, probably not gonna steal one. But he's gonna have his Mech completed, so now they both have a heal tool, and they can really start going at the enemy. They miss some pieces of the puzzle, though. They don't have Blink on their Batrider yet, and you could still argue that they want to wait for the first aura item to come in on Underlord, so wait for his pipe, but that's very far away. I think they just go on Lesh and Wisp.
Schofield having a bit of a funny moment there with the Batrider, lasso on the Nyx, the portal's coming, Dark Margo half health having to ball away. TSM bringing the cavalry to defend this 14-minute Wisdom Rune, making damn sure Beast Coast don't get a freebie.
No stealing here, and it's going to be picked up by both Leshrac and the TB, getting one each. Top Timado is on the Veno in trouble.
Yeah. Chasing on the Sacred with a relocate there, making short work of him.
These portals, the portals are really strong for them, having the Fiend's Gate to save your teammates and then relocate to kill an enemy. They're showing off their global map presence with these ultis.
Yeah, super wide map. It was just a funny moment where Ari placed that sentry on high ground. Schofield walked up and Ari immediately turned around to run away, and then Schofield still came back in to try it.
Yeah, that's a bit greedy, for sure. Definitely a bit greedy, but, you know, he tried it because there's a Wisdom Rune as well. So he went in there, he had a Storm with him. If they get the kill, they get the Wisdom Rune as well. It all sounds nice, but of course TSM, they were prepared. They were ready to react. And that's the nice thing they have against the Nyx. They have these relocates and portals. So say that someone is going on the Slark anywhere on the map, you can immediately bring over 3 extra heroes to try and bail them out.
Yeah, there's so many ways to buy time. And how much of a looming threat is this TB?
I would say...
Are you sweating as TSM?
No, I don't think TSM are sweating, but I think he's a bigger threat than they realize. You know, you normally feel really fine. You have Leshrac, you have Underlord as well. You have all the magic damage, right? But I'm not a doubter, man. I think Jim Park knows what he's doing. I think...
Ari dropped down the Seas of Serenity. The Verdurous Dale nearly kept him alive, and it's actually allowed him to get his team involved on his Dark Margo Storm. Whitemon, Tomato, and Bryle, they're on his tail, and Dark Margo's dead here for sure. Maybe he can die to neutrals, but no, Bryle says absolutely not.
That's 800 gold for that kill. You know, they did get 1 kill over on the Batrider, but that was only a measly support kill. Meanwhile, they might even find Schofield as well.
Yeah, bonus one. It's another stun missed from Schofield. He whiffed the one on the bat. Ari had a nice sidestep, and now Tomato with Bryle straight back on top of him. Yeah, not sweating at all.
This is where their lineup is a bit awkward on Beast Coast as well, because they have no real team fight at this point. Unless they can play around Venomancer in some good way and group up, then I don't really see it, because you kind of need to go Chen creeps plus Veno and then play around this with a Metamorphosis, which they're going to try now. They're going mid and trying to set that up. If they split up, they're going to keep dying to this Leshrac.
Yeah, I mean, they're on Kasane with that Metamorphosis. He's popped his pipe, trying to survive, gets himself away with a nice relocate save. Beast Coast struggling to stick on a target. This maneuverability from TSM is just overwhelming them. Dark Margo spent all his mana pool, trying to bottle up now as the relocate will bring Whitemon to his own death, and Tier 1 claimed by Beast Coast in the end.
That was a really nice split earth to try and stop the, well, successfully stopping the Storm from getting the kill on the Underlord. And he gets to TP out. That was really important that he didn't go down there. But still, tower went down. Jim Park pushing tier 2. Meta is running out soon though. I don't know if he can commit for this tier 2. He wants to.
A little spooky. This is the Skadi timing of TV, but you're right. There's like 5 seconds left on the actual ulti of the Terrorblade. The primary spell that he's using.
He's gonna be
just
fine.
time to back up.
He's gonna be fine. Back out. So that's a double tower push that they got there. Really, really successful for them. And gets themselves a little bit of control on this map where they were bleeding a lot of kills. They need to start moving together more and not die to this this Leshrac or the Slark at this point.
Do you think Tomato's regretting not going Midas?
No, I don't think so. He's gotten value already from the Diffu in a good way, and he's farming him very happily in the enemy territory now. So obviously you could have, you know, a bit of safer GPM and experience with a Midas, but the Diffu has already paid dividends, I would say.
He's having a pretty good time
lasso
down here.
whiffs.
Oh dear. That's not who you wanted to go on. Bryle getting hurricaned around into the Centaur Stomp. Beast Coast not intending to play here with that Metamorphosis.
Yeah, nice pull play, but the creeps still kind of just die to Leshrac, and Lesh way too tanky to bring down without a lot of heroes nearby.
Oh, we're getting these displacement tools up. Double Force Staff for Beast Coast. And Dark Margo pairing up with Sacred. Kasane still has that pipe to use. Vessels on him and a lot of poison. Very irritating, but they've got to relocate back to Fountain. No, not to Fountain. Back to
Wisp is the Fountain. It's fine. He's going to be healing him. You know, it's a tiny relocate. Didn't want to bring him all the way to Fountain because what if my Leshrac gets overrun? Wisp thinking about everyone, not just the Underlord. He's got many people to save.
He's thinking about the creep as well. Tethers to the melee creep, denies it, gets stunned by Schofield. And 3 of them caught up in that pit of malice, but Dark Margo zips over the top, still looking for this Underlord. Very tanky fella to try and bring down. Vessels on him, but a good split earth from Bryle. Chased down by these TB illusions, though, and with the chain creep surrounding, and Bryle is falling quickly. Kasane's gone, the Lesh is dead, and Beast Coast overrun TSM.
Yeah, that's really big. They get 2 kills and 40 seconds dead. They have a creep wave as well, so they're just gonna go straight mid. I would say that, you know, there's no objective around here, but they just keep going up to the high ground, and we see the Skadi TB take part in early fights. This is so untraditional Terrorblade gameplay that he's doing, but it's working really well how he's playing it.
Yeah, no Yasha, no Manta, no straight Dragonlance Skadi into the crit. Tier 3 tower being pummeled, and no glyph here for TSM. 10 seconds left for Lesh and the Underlord to respawn. It looks like it's just going to be the tower and a run away from Beast Coast. Not
Here comes the
pushing
night
the issue.
vision, stalking them. Timaudo like a shark, kind of keeping his eye on them, but they're going to be fine, I think. Just get out of here. TSM want to chase, the smoke up and hunt. Force staff available though.
Yeah, hello Sacred. Slow down a little bit. There's the first Force Staff. Schofield creating a bit of distance for the Veno, but the Fiend's Gate and the lasso in. Chen gonna get caught up in the lasso. Sacred trying to tank through the damage as TSM bring everybody and their mums to kill off the Venomancer.
Yeah, they get 2 kills here, I think, as the Nyx in trouble. He has Force staff though. Maybe he's gonna be fine, but looks tough.
Oh, it's real difficult. He's even there, just gonna turn around, see what he can do.
Yeah, well, immediately when they saw the fight was going to happen, Beast Coast just said, we are not fighting. You can literally see on the carry that Terrorblade is running away. He's like, I don't have meta, I'm not a hero, I'm a range creep, you guys are on your own. Good luck.
Yeah.
And they lose 2 heroes, but at the same time, look at TSM. They're not taking tower yet. They're not getting an objective for this fight immediately. They're getting an objective in the sense that they're pushing out lanes and getting map control. That's good. But that's just a secondary. That's like a consolation prize when you can't get a real objective.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the best at kind of going into Roche after a couple of kills. Tower's difficult to bring down.
Bat wants to steal Wisdom Rune. He's here for it. Let's see it. Not gonna work, I think. Bat Rider is ready. Or
Look at
TB is
Jim Park. Oh, Bat, he gets it. He's going to die for it, though, it looks like.
At what cost, Gareth? At what cost?
Is that worth?
Not anymore. No. Feeding the Terrorblade? Definitely not.
You sure?
Well, if you're on TSM, they're currently saying it's worth, but from an analytical standpoint...
Nuh-uh.
Nah, man. I think the first bounty, the first Wisdom Rune can be okay to die for. The later Wisdom Runes, I think, is almost never okay to die for, really.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 1200 XP
higher level heroes give a lot of experience as well, and also give a lot of gold. That's the big part. You're just a little support, but that's still 500 gold that you fed away.
You push TB over level 15, getting closer to 16.
It's about timing, so it's not necessarily so much about how much gold it is. It's just that means the BKB is coming out a little bit faster, and that little bit faster BKB, which is getting now in 100 gold, means that they can organize a push for the bottom tower, or even go Roche a little bit earlier. So everything comes back to bite you. Any mistake you make.
Man, this Chen is getting pretty stacked. Highest net worth of the supports.
What?
Dark Marco. I saw him on the minimap zip across. He's trying to get a bit of distance from Tomato. He slips away.
Yeah, the
TSM,
Leshrac missed his stun on the lasso. The Batrider stopped pulling because he didn't want to ruin the stun, but Leshrac expected him to keep pulling, so they ruined the stun. He should have died there. That was very, very ballsy to just jump in across to that spot.
What was he?
I mean, I don't know. There was a haste rune in the river. He jumped across the river. He had vision on the haste rune. I'm not even sure what he was jumping for. I guess maybe he was jumping to try and check high ground vision, but he didn't have a sentry there either. So honestly, I'm out of explanations for that one.
There's some wild Dark Margo stuff.
I don't know. It worked, man. Space created. Lasso on cooldown. Easy Roche.
And Dark Margo's playing hide and seek, right? He's just trying to find where TSM are lurking. He gives them a shot at Roshan now as well. Chen creeps, TB illusions. And Jim Parker's just going to walk out of the pit. The main TB says, screw it, I'm out of here. Let Storm have the Aegis, I don't need it.
Yeah, you need it on Storm. TB, if TB dies once and he used meta anyway, you don't really care about him reviving, and Storm is the best Aegis carrier in the entire game. There is no hero that you would rather have Aegis on than Storm generically, I would say, because he comes back at full power, always full power. No cooldowns on this bad boy, and full mana means very happy Storm.
It sure does. Beast Coast with some options here now. There's Tormentor to steal, Tier 2 to kill. Mid lane has already lost the Tier 3. That's why we're seeing this kind of scramble from TSM to shove out the top and the mid lane with this Slark and the Batrider. Make sure that Beast Coast don't have unlimited options when pushing the base. Even clearing out the wave behind them. Yeah, Storm is zipped in. He knows that there are heroes lacking. Does get lassoed by Ari and dragged towards Fountain. Dark Margo has that Kaya Sand, so Status Resist helping him out quite a lot. Back onto Kasane with a bit of chip damage, and the glyph used up by TSM should delay this push from Beast Coast for now.
Yeah, they're just gonna chill, it looks like, pulling back. They could go in with a Sunder play on TB, but TB's HP dropping very low there from the Firestorm defense on the high ground. Pushing into a Crimson Guard as well is not the easiest to do so. They recognize we gotta just keep playing the map, probably structure up a push towards top instead. They have to fix their side lanes now. Mid and top lane are really bad shape for Radiant. So this gives space for TSM to get out on the field a little bit. They shouldn't feel too stuck in base.
Get out of the stranglehold a bit. So why has Chen not gone for Mech and Greaves this game? Pipe,
well, it went
Medallion?
for the pipe because there's Leshrac and Underlord. It's really, really strong to get a pipe. And Venomancer going for the Vessel and Aghanims means he's not going pipe. So someone had to. It's just better. It's better than going up a Mech here by a massive margin. You already have some heal as well. So you'd rather get more effective HP with this. And Barrier is going to be great for protecting the illusions of TB as well as the main TB.
And then I guess Mech effectiveness, like as a rushed item, first item, so much better than 30 minutes in thinking about the Mech heal.
Yeah, so he's not going back for it. He actually just goes back for a Holy Lock instead. There we see a little pick off on the mid lane as Ari was trying to fix that mid lane, but gets punished. This is one of the things that Storm does really well. Whenever heroes split up on the map, easily just take down on that Batrider.
Yeah, completely isolated. Well, Slark, he has run himself up that net worth board. 3rd position now, 12,500. Got himself the Mage Slayer, the Aghanim Scepter. So looking decent. He's had a very quiet game though, Tomato. 3 stacks of the permanent Agi is honestly pretty damn good given the game state that he's been in.
Yeah, he's alright with this though. He hasn't had too bad of a game. He's hunting now. Gonna bother a Storm a little bit here.
Dark Margo having to spend a bit of mana there as the push up top into the high ground. Kasane doesn't have any mana to play with, but a good relocate. We'll send him back to Fountain. Vortex on Bryle, but he got his Bloodstone and BKB off. A jump in from Tomato now, knowing Dark Margo doesn't have mana to play with. Storm honestly probably wants to kind of die to get his mana replenished. Aegis for 2 minutes still in hand, and a lasso from Ari dragging Sacred back into nothing. Will get stunned up by the Nyx on his way through. Just back and forth, chipping and battling, and Jim Park makes that killer move. Goes for the jugular, dives in deep. Half HP, still has Thunder to play with, and his BKB. And again, Dark Margo, very low on resources, but still has that Aegis as Beast Coast will turn onto the barracks. TSM desperately trying to defend this top lane. Kasane slowed down by the Skadi slow. The Carapace stunning Kasane. He's about to die, but Whitemon's there with the heals and saves again. Dark Margo finally loses that first life.
Anymore.
Meta is down, the leash on the Storm, the 4-staff away, the second pounce from Tomato, the second 4-staff from Beast Coast gets Dark Margo out of the danger zone. No barracks have fallen yet. Catapult and TB Illusions trying their best. Schofield sprinting out and TSM giving chase. Let's see if they can find someone with that Fiend's Gate. Storm, he zipped into the back looking for the Underlord, zips away, doesn't get the kill. Will TP out of there. As Schofield's chased down by Bryle. All over the place. My eyes. I don't know, cross-eyed, wall-eyed. I'm looking left and right and up and down, but nobody's dead.
Yeah, everybody's surviving. The 4-staffs are coming into play. The pipes are coming into play. A lot of saves coming in here. Even the Wisp coming in. And people ultimately pulling out of this successfully on the side of Beast Coast. Schofield still not completely safe, but he has 4-staff. He's baiting, actually.
Yeah, you're going to go on me with a lasso. Fine, I'll die for this, but... Oh, they just doesn't have the team to turn around. I don't know. The TB's in trouble. The TB. 4-staff. Can he get out of here? The Slog's on his tail. Another pounce, leashing him up. The heals on the Terrorblade might be enough to get him out of danger. He's stuck here with the pounces on him. He's dead. Pounced upon. Munched by the Tomato Slog. He senses blood in the water now. His sensors are going wild as a triple kill comes out of Tomato.
Oh, no,
just saying. He was having a quiet game and he's popped off completely. A triple might be an ultra in a second. A Stinger getting pounced under his own tier 3. Tomato stacking up 50 Agi, 7 permanent stacks, and Bryle with a well-worth tip onto Tomato.
Yeah, Tomato is definitely running it now, and he's even going on to this guy.
Is he alright here? I mean, Tomato's probably going to die, right? Might get the kill on. Oh, the rampage, he gets it! 67 Agi. A wild performance from Tomato Slog.
That was really, really clean. I mean... I'm not sure about baiting there with Nyx. The bait when you don't have meta or BKB. I mean, it's like TB is behind him. I'm not sure what the turnaround is. They go on Nyx and then what? But Beast Coast, they got away scot-free and then they stepped back into this bear trap that was having the Nyx on mid. And Slark now, absolutely monsters from that, getting a ton of gold. He has gem now as well. They send out a gem for him and he's queuing up an Orchid.
Oh, doesn't land the first pounce on the Veno. Does connect the second, but the 4-staffs are there. East Coast trying to get away from the Fiend's Gate now as the stun from Nyx connects on Slark. Underlord trying to play forward, but holding on to this high ground. Might relinquish control of it to get the Nyx kill. Who's got a 4-staff for me?
Yet. Still some cooldown. Yes,
Give me back up. Give me back up to high ground, boys.
Meta is available on TB now. They want to try and take fights.
Oh, they nearly had the connection from Schofield to that 4-staff forward, and Dark Margo with a long zip. The second one onto Bryle. Lotus Orb on him. The heal, the save, the relocate is out of there. Flash Rack kept nice and alive as Kasane. There's no stuns.
Oh boy. I can't believe the Wisp didn't get stunned there. Nyx was trying to go in and get a stun on him, but they're gonna get the Wisp possibly. He's gonna try and relocate or tether away as well. Doesn't get it.
Oh, what's the move for Beast Coast now? They've got meta. Do they go high ground straight?
I think they can't really go high ground straight, I don't think. But oh, DD Rune actually, that changes things. That changes things. They can take this DD Rune and go push. I think you even bottle it. They're trying to. Slark can maybe come in and steal it. But that could be dangerous. A lot of heroes around.
And Tomato opting to leap away instead. Still being tailed by Schofield. But he's got that gem.
Yeah, he has the gem. He was just waiting. If he did get hit, though, he would lose all his mana and he wouldn't be able to get away. So, playing with fire a little bit there. If someone 4-staffed the Nyx, actually, that would have been sick. burn all the mana of Slark, then he dies.
That would have been pretty cool. Beast Coast, yeah, they're on this high ground again. Lasso will catch up to Schofield, drag him into tier 4s. Force Staff, this displacement, trying to give him some safety, but Slark is there again. Whacking down on the next assassin. Range
Next
creep.
down. That's half
next.
the stuns of the team gone immediately.
Not been able to hit any of these melee barracks either. 2 range barracks gone on TSM's side. They are defending very nicely.
They have this ward as well. No sentry for the Radiant here as well, so they're backing out. But again, Slark on the hunt. He's very fast in these chase situations. Veno covering the retreat though with some Veno wards, slowing him down.
And Roshan 2 minutes away. This is where we get into one of those standoff situations. We're like pushing out waves, getting ready for Roche, get some vision down.
Yeah, it's a late spawn. It's a late spawn, so that's actually very good for Radiant right now because they used meta and Roche could be spawning already. So they know that they have to be ready to contest the bottom Roche right now, but without meta they couldn't do it. So the fact that it's 2 minutes still, a little bit unlucky for TSM here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
When was it? 3 minutes till night?
Yeah, 3 minutes and it will move.
Another full staff for Beast Coast coming soon as well as Stinger has lined his up.
Yeah, you have to go mass 4 staff. The more 4 staffs, the more efficient every single 4 staff becomes because, you know, a single 4 staff will do nothing against an Aghanim Slark. But if you have 3 of them, suddenly Slark can be really bothered by people just continuously getting away.
Just drifting out of there. Kasane sat in the pit. 1 minute
sit
to
there
go.
for a while, buddy.
Bottom tower is under attack.
He's
60
got to
seconds. Enough time to go wash your face.
clean all his armor, take off the Crimson Guard, clean out his pipe. Getting ready for the
Storm.
full brawl.
Looking at top, just hanging around that area right now. This is a worrisome part for Beast Coast. They're ready to any moment here. Roshan has fallen to the Dire, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. But the moment this meta is ready, I mean, they could start thinking about going. They have 18-second cooldown. They could think about going over there and trying to contest this Roche, because they don't want to give away an Aegis for free. And they have everything they need. They're actually moving towards the portal, thinking about making a portal play. That could be risky, though.
Yeah, I think Schofield knows that someone just went through it. Slark popped through the twin gate.
Dire are
And
scanning.
TSM readying around that bottom one as well. And Roshan's about to make his reappearance. And TSM still have to deal with some of these waves, like pruning away with Kasane. He's got himself the Fiend's Gate to reposition back across the map, though, of course.
Yeah,
Right
they're
now.
starting Roche. It's beginning. It's not the fastest Roche here for Dire, but they can definitely take it on their own. No problem there as they start hitting the Slark. Backtrack in as well. And Radiant just in a waiting position right now. They're working on the Butterfly for Terrorblade. So looks like they have given up on the idea of contesting. They're close to power spikes. I can understand why they're not going for this. BKB is 200 gold away for the Storm. And in less than 1,000 gold, you have the Butterfly for TB as well. So they just want to hit power spikes. They don't want to take this fight. Actually, look at look at this play by TSM. They feel like this is very suspicious. We don't see anyone. So by the fact that everyone is jungling on Beast Coast, TSM are not worried. Wait, this Roche can't be this free. Can it?
So-
Is it?
This honestly might be one of these mental things, because I remember during Dream League Season 19, they had 2 or maybe even 3 games where a single Roche fight lost them the match, lost them the series. So it might be one of these things where they're thinking, hey, we're so slow at taking Roshan, we've got to go and fight. They smoke out, they look for something, now they're back in there. A little bit of wasted time, but in the end, it doesn't look like it matters all that much. They will still kill it. They're still getting that Aegis and cheese.
Yeah, take it finally. Took a while for them to bring it down as they played it very, very safe. I mean, ultimately they didn't lose anything for that other than the fact that Beast Coast got to farm more items. So Butterfly is complete, BKB is complete, and they hit a little bit of a harder timing here with that extra 4 staff as well on the Chen. They have everything they want.
They are barreling down that top lane.
Yeah,
TB Illusion's up there.
they will burst this Underlord if he shows. He will die fast.
Kasane shows with a Firestorm. Carapace stunned. Those all lining in. Lotus Orb is there. Dragging Dark Margo back. But you're right. Look at that damage. Overwhelms the Underlord. He's got buyback available. But Brile, my god, he has to Yules himself up. Aegis in hand, but still looks like he might fall. The lasso going to drag Dark Margo back into the fountain. He zips himself away, though. Brile
the storm.
survived. Buildings are falling, and Beast Coast, the ones to strike into the hearts of this TSM base.
As a baller move, I love this. I mean, this is the move of a team who doesn't want to lose. Look at that. It's not playing to lose, they're playing to win. They want to take this game, and I like that they take the initiative. Even when the enemy have Aegis, they read that, yeah, they might not go top. And if they don't go top, we can maybe get a Rax. And they wait long enough to even get a pick off as well as the Rax. With the buyback now used on the Underlord, that sets him back a little bit. So he did get a Lotus Orb before, but it's going to take a really long time before he gets another item.
Yeah, now we're looking at this Halberd on the Venomancer. Another way to try and deal with the Slark.
Yeah,
TSM, the onus is on them to get out on the map and get something done.
Yeah, Beast Coast are trying to dodge now because they don't have the meta. So they're just going straight for a Tormentor. They get that Tormentor, get a free shard for the Nyx. Of course, this game shifted away from being so much of a ganky game. More teamfight oriented. Batrider. Hunting.
Flying up. Schofield. The stuns there from the Lesh this time. Force Staff. 1, 2. Drifting the Nyx away. And they can't catch up to him. Braille tried with that Ogre Seal Totem. Schofield's too quick on his feet. Timado, in the meantime, has killed off Dark Margos. They relocate down bottom to slay the Storm. And he's dead for 70 seconds. This is huge for TSM.
Oh boy, yeah, he's got buyback in a little bit though. He's at 55 gold needed for buyback. There is a bounty rune top. It's being pinged out right now. Jim Park, is he gonna go for it? I think he will. Maybe. He's not risking it. There is a bounty rune, but he doesn't want to go there on a carry.
He's busy looking in the shop for his tier 4 token item.
This ward is, this ward is what got Schofield kill. He will remove it. Yeah, also this Hurricane Pike on Terrorblade, meaning that they have 4 total Force Staffs, is really, really nice. With a Storm in the team, 4 is all it's ever going to be. He's not going to buy a 5th. There won't be one more.
Oh, come on. Complete the collection.
Hurricane Pike Storm, the new meta.
Oh, hell yeah. We've seen some Blink Dagger Storms. Oh, hello. Venomancer caught up with a lasso. Burst through Sacred. And here's another one with no buyback. Quite a distance from it.
That's why you want to try to have avoid heroes dying, chain feeding into a Slark like this. First you have the Storm dying bottom, and then now losing another core hero. It kind of sets back Beast Coast. Even though they have meta ready, it's hard for them to structure a fight. And of course, they're against Aegis for 1.5 more minutes, so they would ideally want to avoid fighting anyway. TSM haven't really gotten more value though. No more buildings.
I don't know why it's just so funny to me watching these Chen creeps.
The army.
The army charging across the map.
Oh no, they've been spotted. Oh, watch out for the Watcher. I like the one literal troll in the army, it's the end snare boy.
The hill troll, yeah. Oh, they backstabbed the creep wave.
Only the range creep
down.
Yeah, only that one range creep. Now that creep wave is completely without magical support.
Oh no. Well, what in the world will we do now?
Take out the backliners first, even when you gank a creep wave. Okay, mid. This is a smoke gank coming in. They're waiting for smoke to cool down on the Chen. 2 seconds. Actually, using it instead on another hero.
Who's this coming behind? Timado? Hello?
He realizes. He sees the courier coming back. This is very obvious. This is not going to be as successful as last time. They might bait it this time with Unlord, but this time, surely they're going to react to it. They know what's happening. Yeah, relocates, saves, already TPing.
Already coming back. I mean, Broil with his Bloodthorn being an absolute nuisance. Straight on top of the Nyx Assassin. Schofield, Force Staff the once, the twice now to get a bit of distance as the Terrorblade turns and fights into Broil. Good damage on this. Lashrax, Dark Margo zipped in on top of him, but Broil has the BKB. Buys the time to get away from the grasp of Jim Park as he thinks about focusing the barracks, but now Beast Coast, they've spent a lot. Not getting too much, having to turn tail and run away. Timado.
Jim Park still looking for a pick.
Brawl and Whitemon, they've come in, swooping from behind, but the Batrider's cleared out by Jim Park. You're right, there's TB standing tall, aiming Kasane. Timado's in, though, looking for the backlines, leaping and pouncing over the top, but the poison's annoying. And the refresher there from Jim Park, allowing him to keep on going. Lasso will drag him back up towards high ground, but doesn't get him over the cliff. Still able to dish out the damage to the sun to your right. Into the Silver Edge, play the break, the damage. Oh, the Yule's buying time for Brawl to turn around. The disarm of the Slark, keeping this Jim Park TB alive, but he cannot survive. Finally falling, and Beast Coast have spent everything they've got. TSM with another tremendous hold. Dark Margo even having to buy back now.
This is very painful for them. The problem is that they don't have great setup to try and lock down this Slark. Slark is just going in and out, weaving in and out of these fights, and everyone has to sort of rally around the Terrorblade as the only safe point is standing next to TB and hoping that Slark won't commit and try and kill you. But Slark has that Shard and Aghanims as well, so he's very mobile. He also has the extra ability to just go in and throw down the Shroud and then still kill you, even if you're right next to TB. Very complicated fight for Beast Coast. I think they need Storm or Nyx to lock down this Slark, otherwise they will lose the fight.
Yeah, it's just like textbook kiting from TSM as well, right? With relocate saves, the jumping around, the Yule Scepter on Leshrac, everything is just built here to buy time.
Dinger.
Unlucky, mate. Lassoed back into the Lesh. He's going to try and pop a heal and stay alive, but in the end, he'll meet his demise, dead for 50 seconds. And TSM starting to knock on the door of Beast Coast base.
This Terrorblade is respawning soon. He does have BKB and he has his meta ready as well due to that refresher.
And now the spam begins. The split earths are landing, stacking up the circles. Schofield trying to close the gap in onto them, but TSM very disciplined with their positioning.
Yeah, they're just chilling on the side of TSM. They realize that they don't have to close out the game fast here. They just need to take control of the map, and they will get pickoffs when people come out. They have Batrider, they have a Slark. Up, Kazane. He ponks back to Nyx.
That noise is beautiful. They're still going to die here, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. He's tanky. TB comes in, 4-staff forward. Slark and Leshrac in the vicinity thinking about continuing this battle, but he's popped meta, so you know as TSM, we just let it go. We'll have a window.
Yeah, they'll sort of have a window. There's still that refresher coming off in 30 seconds, so it's not the worst thing ever for him here using it. Oh, they saw TB running down the gem. They're going on him.
He's all alone. Oh boy, Jim Park thought he was safe under that silver edge. Oh, you better distance. Get back to high ground. The Sunder over to Sacred, but it's time for the TB to turn. But that's another poke there from TSM where they forced out some big spell and item usages from the Terrorblade.
So much agi too. The Slark is really strong now. He took 20 stacks from the TB, so minus 20 on the TB and plus on the Slark here. Could be a really good time to fight here if you're TSM.
Yeah,
even without your Underlord, I think if you have a strong Slark, you can still fight with this.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where Roshan's going to be back up soon as well.
Oh, Slark is alone though. Spotted by the Nyx. He knows he's spotted. That's the problem.
Oh,
can't really set up on him.
Just jamming up the high grounds. And top lane, they're hunting Dark Margo. Oh, nearly.
That was one little lasso click away from death right there. Very close.
And what time is it? 1 minute till night, so Radiant Roche about to spawn. Beast Coast are going to be the ones that see it. If Schofield goes there, they're pinging it out. Go say hello.
Yeah. Bottom Roche. I mean, you definitely go for this. The question is, does Aegis on TB even do anything? It's just, you need it on Storm. You need probably Aegis on Storm and then Cheese on Benno or something. Like, you need your resources on the other heroes. The Terrorblade is not the hero that dies first. He's just left alone.
Hey, Roshan, he's about 60% health, but the Fiend's Gate, the Slark in the back. Yeah, Sam seemed pretty well prepared to kick this one off. They're TPing down south as well as they smoke up and look for the play. Roshan's been delayed. Beast Coast evacuating the area. Are you going to get tagged by the Carapace? Glimmercape will get him back away from Beast Coast initiation. Sting is even like popping dust. Like, where are they? They must be coming. Surely TSM are coming for us.
Eyes on Storm in this fight. He has to connect onto an important target that either bursts the IO immediately or get the Slark.
Uh-oh, Roche is moving.
Yeah, he knows this is a bad place to stay. Good call, Roche.
Guys, you're getting bumped around. Oh god, Tomato's in. The Vortex there. The Slark is on top of the Venoman, so Roshan's popped off through the Twin Gate. Let's see what happens next, because TB's used his Metamorphosis. Sacred with his ulti. Jim Park can't stick on a target. Slark pounces away. Storm trying to zip in. Can't find Tomato. Oh, look at Kasane instead. Eyes on him, but a relocate save drags him to safety. Now onto Ari, the Batrider. From target to target, they're trying to kill someone. Anybody, please give your lives to Beast Coast, but TSM, they're outplaying and kiting. Ari might die eventually, but he's buying so much time here. Bryle and Whitemore, they can come in from the left side, and they've delayed this fight for long enough that Metamorphosis is starting to wear out. He does have Refresher up, though, like you said. That second round of fighting for Jim Park's available. He'll get on to this last track. Yules and a Glimmer, delaying the inevitable. Beast Coast holding the line, trying to stand tall and strong. In comes the slug. Jim Park with a BKB, and they've killed off Bryle. Tomato slipping away, the little fishy. He's out of there. And TSM have realized with 2 heroes down, this Jim Park TB is too much to handle. The break and the damage on Kasane might be enough to bring out this Underlord. Schofield's there with a finishing touch. Beast Coast with a fight victory. Buyback from Bryle. Underlord as well. TSM bringing everyone into the battlefield that they possibly can. And Tomato starting to stack up the agi. Jim Park, he's used his second meta and he's TPing out. Beast Coast, they've run out of gas. These buybacks too potent from TSM.
Costly buybacks though. Again, that buyback on Underlord. And now they're working on getting over to Roche here. TSM gonna start the Roche immediately, but I think they're contesting it. Look, immediate smoke here coming towards top, and the base is looking problematic. So Underlord is dealing with base. Meanwhile, the smoke towards top by Beast Coast, they wanna punish this. This is not a free Roche. The buyback on Venno kind of tells them this. This telegraphs that they want to contest.
Oh, this is a wild
this
game.
Is close, dude. This is close.
Roshan, 1,000 health. Beast Coast in the vicinity. Schofield's coming in. He's burrowing, but Roche is dead, and Bryle got the Aegis. Aghanim's on the floor. Whitemon will pick it up. The Fiend's Gate's coming, and Beast Coast looks like they're being forced to fight here. Tomato's going to lead back up to high ground. Bryle dropping low. In comes Dark Margo, though, with a Vortex, dragging a couple into the middle. Oh, they're just lacking the damage and the follow-through. Jim Park with no meta can't do anything. This allows Bryle to actually turn and stand, fighting the Sacred. Batrider's there, you're right. The lasso catches up to Schofield. This will get Tomato into the thick of things. Nyx Assassin gone for a minute, and Sacred about to join him in the grave. Beast Coast, what can you do? You're being pounced upon, demolished by this Tomato slug, and you've just got to turn and run.
Oh boy, yeah, they just gotta run away from this. At least they got a little consolation prize, but Jim Park still in danger here.
Parker.
He doesn't have Basher. But he also doesn't have Nullifier on the Slark because they got the courier kill there. His Relic was on it, so 3 minutes delayed Nullifier. That can have a really big impact. He did, of course, secure the Roche for his team there, though, and Aegis in the hands of Lesh. I think they're going to be very happy with that. And now, 70 seconds. They know Venno doesn't have buyback. This is a big window here for TSM.
Remember 20 minutes ago when I asked if TSM is sweating? I can imagine they are now with the way these team fights are going. They're looking good, don't get me wrong, but it's not comfortable for any of these players. These fights are so chaotic.
Yeah, they're really complicated to play out. It's tough because for either team, you can't really just hard commit to one hero. I think it's easier for TSM because they can just try to lasso someone or jump someone with Slark. It's pretty low commitment. Whereas for Beast Coast, if they go on the wrong target with Nyx, that's terrible. And Storm, yeah, he can go, but he can also run out of mana that way.
It's bloody chaotic versus tricky shit, man. That's what this game's all about. Nyx Assassin burrowed down, but lassoed in. The Force Staff across. Dark Margo zips into the back. The Fiend's Gate's there to bring more heroes in and out if they need. Tier 3 being focused, and Nyx Assassin dead for 60 means TSM are in a 6v3 right now?
Yeah, this is really rough. He was burrowed a little bit too aggressively there on the Nyx, and once he gets hit by Bloodthorn, he can't actually unburrow. He's just stuck. He can't get up, so he was stuck underground there, murdered by a shark. That's probably the first time someone said that sentence, but yeah.
Step Slog, please. Help me, I'm stuck.
That's not the first time someone said that sentence.
Oh man, well TSM just on the doorstep, ready for it. Nyx Assassin dead still for 20, and Bryle going to start stacking up the Split Earths. Clear out the Plague Wards and prep for this barracks push. Creep wave coming in bottom, so they can keep this going. Tomato just going to keep dark pacting everything off. Except the halberd.
Yeah, can't really stop everything, but they are delaying long enough. Nyx is respawning everybody alive with the meta available on TV as well. Can't really keep going here. Have to respect it a little bit.
Hold the line.
Oh, they're going?
Hold the door, Bryle. Carapace, Spirit Vessel, has Aegis, so first life going to get claimed. This is TB's first metamorphosis as well.
They don't have reload.
Pounce is in, you're right. Bryle could get focused here as the Dark Mago Storm with the AoE Vortex trying to drag them in to Jim Park, who runs forward and gets the tag onto Ari to slow him and kill him. And now the chase towards Kasane. Underlord Drops down the Pit of Malice, slowing the advance of Beast Coast here. TSM, they extricate themselves from the situation quite nicely.
They felt that he was going to come through the portal there, the buyback from the Batrider, so they went back and camped the portal a little bit instead of chasing. Good call to not overcommit into a chase there. I think Beast Coast played that nicely. Buyback used by Batrider, and I have to say that's a little bit of an early buyback. You, of course, want to join the fight and take the fight if there is one, but now he ended up buying back, and Beast Coast just said, okay, chill, we back, we wait cooldowns, and a lot of buybacks are on cooldown here for the side of TSM. You used your buyback on the Underlord before, you used your buyback now on the Batrider as well, and Leshrac, of course, used this buyback as well. So you're in a spot where you can punish a lot of different heroes if you get any pickoffs on the side of Beast Coast.
And 8 minutes until the next tier of neutral items. That's what we're all waiting for. The 60-minute tier 5 neutrals. Beast Coast gonna smoke up. They've got a lasso from Ari onto the Stinger Chen, though. He was trying to reconnect with the rest of his squad. They've got Dark Margot chasing up into Bryle. 2 fights breaking out at the same time. Bryle, he's got himself a bit of distance now. Whitemon, he's got the heals, but Slark, being focused, gets off the Dark Pact and the jump away. Ari blinks as well.
Back on Chen coming back in
it's
here
just
with Alberts.
So hard to stick on a target. Like, Dark Margot's trying his damnedest to get on top of people, and
Ooh,
Ari...
no buyback.
Catching the Batrider, Ghost Scepter, Glimmer Cape, trying everything he can to buy time and space in the middle of this chaotic fight. Can't see what the hell is happening, but Ari is going to die. Eventually falls as Jim Park drops the half HP. Kasane looking to focus in, but the Dark Margot pull back. Sunder there from Jim Park. The Terrorblade doesn't have enough left, though. Refreshes up. Does have this Aghanim Scepter upgrade. The Fear going to push Broyle back. Jim Park, do you have the damage? No, the Nihilism.
He can't hit him.
He can't be touched. Whitemon getting zipped on, Schofield on the outskirts, Broyle dropping low, TB standing tall, but the damage is overwhelming, and there it is, the finish. The TSM are 3 heroes down with no buybacks on them. TB will buy back, and Beast Coast, they're in the driving seat now, maybe.
Oh, can they get the Wisp and then chase? He's glimmered.
The
They don't have protection.
The try, and Dark Margot will find him. Whitemon in the back, he's gonna fall. Tomato's left stranded here, he's broken and killed.
He stopped him in the air.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, have they done it? I don't even know. There's a lot of heroes who cannot buy back here. The lanes are not fantastic for Radiant, but they can push. They don't have meta, but they can still go up Hygon here. You don't have to be worried about just the Wisp and Slark, and none of the other heroes have buyback yet. 50 seconds until Leshrac has his, so we'll have it, but you won't want to use it that late. You have to go on lanes right now. Just push creeps. Bottom creep wave. Go, 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 go.
Witness the chaotic glory of Beast Coast 53 minutes in.
This is some stuff, man. That is some hectic team fight right there. Absolutely amazing. Go over to the buyback tab right now on the spectator and look at that. That looks good, dude.
It's been up for the past 2 minutes.
That is how you know the game is looking dangerous. Anyone who dies now probably gonna get sidelined and
on the bench.
Be very problematic. When Lesh comes back, he can tank a death because he will have buyback then.
Jim Park, up we go with a mini meta. Gets out the Terror Wave. Glyph used up by TSM.
Glyphing, but the push is still on. Don't have meta yet, but little mini meta. Did enough damage there, going mids. Still no Underlord, still no Lesh though.
Looks like Mega Creeps on the menu.
I think they're accepting Mega Creeps and just trying to stay in the game here. If they can hold after Mega Creeps, looking with Batrider for a pick-off, possibly with the respawns.
Beast Coast, they had 1 foot in the grave. They're a game down. Game 2 looked like TSM was starting to weasel away with it. Some kind of necromancy magic has brought Beast Coast from the brink of death back into it.
Yeah, they really have. And Terrorblade is getting even more gear capped here as he goes full Moonshard as well now. So he's heading into that ultra farmed Moonshard, Aghanim Scepter, Aghanim Shard. Of course, the Refresher can still be backpacked here and get like a Swift Blink. But then the Refresher doesn't cool down. It feels bad to have it in backpack. Honestly, it might be better to just keep it in inventory as much as he can here. I mean, he still wants a Swift Blink if he could afford it, but...
So many items, so few slots.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes here for the Roche respawn, but it will be hard. TSM leaving your base at this point. Yeah, you have your portals, but you don't have great heroes against Megas. Lesh is going to be the one to defend, and the 4 of them smoke out.
Yeah.
They know Roche could be up, and they don't want to lose out on it. Again, it's a late rush spawn though, same as before.
2 more minutes. The scan connects as well, so might give a full sense of urgency here for TSM to sprint out towards the pit.
Yeah.
I've got to say, these fights though, with this Dark Margot AoE Vortex, he's causing so many issues for them. At Sacred, he's going to be the one that gets grabbed up by the lasso. Half HP, pretty tanky guy. Ghost Scepter's ready as well to save him against the physical damage, but the magic will burn him.
Nyx is in?
Nyx Assassin trying to burrow now, but TSM latching onto a target. TB from the high ground. Ian Disc pops there on the IO. Nyx Assassin, he gets healed back up. The Sunder from Jim Park keeps Schofield alive. Full step up on the right-hand side, trying to refresh up and keep them up, but Nyx Assassin's down. The Hex! Oh, Little Piggy, where are you running? He's running into the grave. Dead TB, and that might be it now. Lights out for Beast Coast as Timado grabs a double kill. Venomancer falling. Bryle with a double of his own, and TSM looking hot at the end of game 2 as Dark Margot barely TP's home.
That is going to be it. It's only the Storm now. No way you can defend here. They have Mega Creeps against them, but they have so much time to finish this push up. TB doesn't have buyback for another 4 minutes. They are going to be without him, and the push is coming. And Unbroad can easily defend. I don't know, poor Storm, not much to do, but that was a very costly attempt to save the Venomancer. Veno had buyback, but Nyx tried to go the save a buddy syndrome, you know? It's like, oh, I can go in and help you somehow, and then TB tries to sunder the Nyx, who then got cut out, and it's sad to see them go out like this after all that hectic fighting. It falls on a sadly kind of basic thing compared to all the great things they did this game.
Yeah, they fall on their own sword, basically. Yeah. TSM onto the tier 4s. Nobody to defend this. 5 men strong, whacking away at buildings, and this might be it. GG called. Dark Margot with a constellation of AoE Vortex. But TSM will be the victors here in its best of 3. A 2-0 victory over Beast Coast, continuing that historical run against them and guaranteeing them that spot in the main event.
Yeah, that was well played by TSM. I mean, hard fought in game 2 here, definitely. Game 1 looked a lot quicker and cleaner for them, but they come out the stronger team here. Beast Coast put up one hell of a fight in this game, though, and I gotta say, that was some absolutely chaotic team fights. So many things going on, so few people dying in such a long duration, a lot of saves, a lot of efforts of keeping people alive. But ultimately, TSM, they managed to fight themselves back in the group situation.
Yeah, I mean, Beast Coast in all these fights, like they're playing at 110% every battle with the 4 staff saves, the Sunders, and keeping that TB up and running. But TSM, the victors in the end, with, again, just some good overarching strategy and team play. Putting themselves in good spots, and good bit of terrain to fight into. And we're going to watch a couple of the highlights back as well. Schofield, the main aspect here for Beast Coast, causing a lot of issues.
Yeah, this was the dangerous bait. Like, you don't have meta or BKB. They baited with nothing really to punish. They don't have punishment heroes behind in that spot. But yeah, I will say this. If he got off the Sunder on the Nyx, BKB, refresh, and then Sunder Leshrac immediately meta and kill him, that would have been a sick play. But sadly, it didn't work out in the end there. Yeah, this is the situation. The Save a Buddy syndrome in high effect. Like right here, if he instantly thought of going for the refresh Sunder play and try to bring down someone, but it's so hard. I think Slark still may have had Shard as well.
Yeah, then you get scythed up and that's it. Yeah. Game over. That one Scythe of Ice, that one Hex on the TB, just closing things out for TSM.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really a good position for him to be in there on Parker. Like, you can say that the Sunder was a misplay, but ultimately, the Veno should probably not have been caught. And if the Veno gets caught, you probably shouldn't get caught on more heroes and then more heroes. So it was a team mistake overall. They all kind of fell into the trap. So unfortunately, they lose to TSM here. But TSM, they were the stronger team. You can't really debate it. They definitely crushed this 2-0, playing really well.
Yeah, looked incredible, and props to them going up against this chaotic Beast Coast side. It's really got to test your limits, as that rounds things out. A 2-0 victory for TSM. It guarantees them into the main event. Beast Coast sadly are out, as a second series coming up in a short while. The Eastern European Derby game. Ooh. Yeah, 9 Pandas going up against Virtus Pro. That should be a banger.
Yeah, I really look forward to that one. I can't wait. Honestly, that should be another really hectic game, I think.
Yeah, not sure how long you got to wait. Maybe 10 minutes, 15 or so. We'll find out in a little bit, though, how that goes.